Just climbing over a couch.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know if we're live, but I'm pretty sure we are. That'd be really funny if we weren't.
Do the whole thing.
We're all just like hanging out together and like not sure. I know you guys are gonna cheat, so I'm gonna pull this back.
I'm gonna cheat on my wife, but I'm not even married.
Oh, way to make those decisions ahead of time.
I'm gonna plan ahead. I'm gonna get married, and I'm gonna cheat on my wife.
That's a weird way to start. Hey guys.
Oh,
So we're gonna make sure we're good, and it seems like we are. All right. So I have a phone down here and a phone up there, so we're all set, guys. Welcome to Natural One's first ever live stream. It's good to be shiny. Bing! Own the shine. Anyway, guys, we're playing a homebrew campaign. Oh, my mate. And it's gonna be good, guys. Oh, yeah. Sorry, audio issues. Let me.
Oh, dang.
He's gonna untangle this.
Jazz.
So make some mood music while it's going. Guys, I am so excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited.
I don't even get how chords are tangled.
They are in my pocket. Anything that enters my pocket goes nuts.
You pull out your hand, you're like, oh no!
It's happened again!
Not again!
Alright, we're just gonna put this right here. Right here.
Right on the nose.
Little guy. Alright guys, so, as I was saying before, welcome to Natural One. This is our first live stream D&D playthrough. So, we're gonna start doing these, maybe not every Thursday, maybe not every week, but we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna try to do it at least once every other week, depending on supply and demand. Anyway, guys, we're gonna get right into it so you guys don't have to wait anymore since we had enough technical issues to start with. And let's start by introducing ourselves. As yourself and your character.
Okay. My name is I'm Will, and I'm gonna be role playing as Weirin of Zast,
Which is pretty much one of the coolest characters.
Yeah.
We're playing everything out of, by the way, all these players and everything is all going to be out of this book. Yeah, holding up the right book.
Xanthars.
Out of that, and also the class that we're playing is the Aasimar, and the Alzamar are out of that one. So we got lots of books, we got lots of things. I feel like it's going to go into like
Sometimes we read.
a Rick and Morty thing. Like, we got lots of these things. And
I watched these things!
I was thinking of McSteely.
Still here. Selling doors.
Yeah, that episode. Alright.
Made me a sandwich.
So guys, thank you again for joining. We're just going to get started right now. So explain your character as well, too. We got to introduce you.
My name is Cry of Zest. Ooh. And no, it's not C-R-Y, it's C-R-A-I. And I am the Way of the Sun Soul, and I'm a monk, so I'm going to beat some math into you. And
There is going to be a lot of addition. So these guys have never seen these type of characters before, so this is kind of a learning type situation. But we're gonna do a great job, right? And of course, I'm that guy that does all the stuff and the things. All right, let's get started. And
let's get distorted.
there's some feedback there for you. All right, it is working. Good, audio is functioning. All right, so you are in the world of Tovoriel. And that world, and I'll show you guys the map, and you guys will have to look it up underneath in the description, which I will add, not description, probably in the comments. It's a world that's pretty well put together. It's technically in its 5th age. And here you guys can see the map. I'll show you guys. You can look it up on your own afterwards. You are from Zast. Right there.
Oh, we're way over there.
Yeah, that's not where you're at now. You're down here.
No, what the?
Yeah, same place.
Oh, I didn't know it was touchy.
Same world. Yeah, you touch this one, it moves.
It's like, ah!
Oh, imagine that touchscreen.
Anyway,
in
so that's where
modern
you're
day.
from. This is where the Imperial City is, where the Emperor was.
Arcton.
And Lothros was right there, if you remember all that stuff.
I do remember.
And
Kuma.
you are now down here. Alright, so you can refer to map on occasion, but right now we are not there. We're in a place called El Jatra. And that place is not a great place. Alright, so setting scene, the whole place is sand. Hot, terribly hot sand area. You were traveling across the mountains and you were captured. And it wasn't exactly a nice capture. It was like they beat you to an inch of your life, took all your things, and put you in a cage capture. So, as you're traveling along this bumpy, sandy road on your way to El Jadra, you hear someone ask, "Where are we going? Where are we?" And another prisoner that's right next to you guys, who is kind of sitting on a bludgeoned, already dead person. Yeah, he's kind of used to this. He's escaped before, but he says,
Sure now.
"Where are you? Can you not tell? You are in the ancient sun-scorched land that has remained set in its ways through time. This region is always known as Kemet, and it shares the same name as the empire that holds the desert lands in the south of the Grimmire Peaks, which is where you were, the Grimmire Peaks. Okay. And what you were doing there, you can decide later. This is something you guys can work together to roleplay. I like to... Yeah, do rock, paper, scissors, because that's what's going to do it. As far as the sand touches, the Kemet Empire holds dominion over all the land. Their king is known as the Young God, who is surprisingly a human named Pashad Rujek, and he resides in the city northeast of El Jadra called Maneba. You don't worry, I'll tell you all these things later. It's not like, what did he say?
I don't know the
Memorize. He said, many have tried to conquer these lands and have failed. The rest of the world seems content to leave them be. A few known conquerors have been brought down after they've tried to conquer from the north, but nothing can break the sand, as the saying goes. To find yourself in these lands is a death sentence for most. And as he's explaining this to you, a guard comes up and just jabs him in the side, not with the spear end, but with the blunt end, and he says, "Quiet down in there!" A guard yells, and he's very, very blunt and brusque, like this really like strong guy. He's probably like 6'4", like 250, all muscle.
That's taller than me. I'm 5'7".
He's a big guy. He's wearing these like ornate kind of like robes, like in these like a golden necklace that has these little like ends with like all these jewels and stuff on it. Very Egyptian, like Hittite, old world, like ancient type. Nothing like the attire you see day to day, which is more medieval fantasy. So totally different type of world. So after a few minutes, the guy kind of like gets up and he's just like quieter this time. There are dark rumors of El Jadra, and and even the young god king has ordered the land investigated. He said nothing conclusive can be found, but where we go, there's good chance we will not return. I fear we are destined for the grand arena. And even it's an ever rotating mass of death that brings the populace to watch us die in a flash of iron and quick spray of blood. But if we're lucky, they'll put us in a noble house and we'll serve there. If we're not lucky, it's hard labor building their temples or the blood sport itself, which, let's face it, isn't exactly what we want. May the gods favor you, whatever your past. Forget it, there is no escape. The sands eat up those that do, and as people around here always say, live for today and die tomorrow, we all return to the sand.
Oh man, something tells me we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Because
no, I don't make you guys fight.
Because this guy who's telling the story to us,
He's been here before.
He's been here before.
he has been here.
So that means he's
He
escaped.
wants it.
And he tried to run and got stuck in sand.
But
Sand!
I'm not again.
Not literal. How did you get caught? The sand got me.
Its hands ran me.
Magic
Cities
sand.
are surrounded by quicksand.
Quick grab.
No,
They're quick
so
dudes.
you get to see as you're approaching. It's a few days ride. You are starved. You're given some food, but it's mostly throw in, everyone grab what they can type situation.
Oh gosh.
They throw like a water flask in there. You guys barely get any. Roll dexterity to see if you grabbed any.
Oh!
Okay, he rolled just natural 20, which is a good way to start for natural 1, the channel. So he caught it, squirted some in his mouth, tossed it to you, and you're able to get some. I assume you shared with him.
Of course.
Did you?
You're my twin.
Oh!
This is going to get weird before it gets better. All right, so you then pass it to the other people as well, but there's not much fight left in them. You two seem to be the strongest of the bit. The people that were running that got caught, you don't know where they're from, but they've been here much longer than you have.
Oh.
So they're a little bit weaker than you. As you get closer, you see the city, but it seems like a mirage. You know what I mean? You've been seeing them the whole time. You're like, oh, we're here. No, not yet. Oh, there it is. No. Beautiful lady. No, that's a camel. You know,
Let's go humps.
don't you dare sing.
Lovely lady.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. Don't you dare. All right, so you get closer, and the walls are just towering. They're insanely tall, bigger than most of what you've seen. It's all sandstone, but it's very well carved. It wasn't built on the back of hard workers that were being paid. It was built on the back of slaves, so they built it firm and strong and huge. The wall is very long. It goes from coast to coast. It's basically in a corner. Let me show you again to give you kind of a thing here. So right here, it comes all the way around right there.
So they've got that whole peninsula.
And they call this the Snake Coast. Snake Bay, I'm sorry. Because it's shaped like a snake. Kind of like a cobra. Anyway, so they've got it walled very securely. They have 2 huge ports. It is a hub for trade. Any kind of mercantilism you can find here. You can find merchants from all over the entire world. But most of the time, it's people that are from the area. Most people don't come down to the south because of various reasons. Slavery is kind of outlawed in the north and everywhere else, except in the desert places, which is unfortunate, but that's where you're at. And you roll history, would you kindly?
Oh, I rolled a what?
You know nothing of this place.
15 plus. Just 15. Yeah.
All right, so you don't remember anything about this place, or
Where
the
are
sun
we?
has been hitting you a little
What's
bit.
my name?
Yeah, the sun's been hitting you a little bit too hard on your side of the cage. But the more you look at it, the more you remember just vaguely of your mentor who was teaching you all about the different places in the world. And he was very strict with you as a monk. He would teach you every single day about history, about different places. But the way he taught you was also while you're fighting, to keep your mind active, but also learning. So between blows, you remember a few little things about this place. That El Jadre is one of those places that is known for its arena, and people it's not just slaves that fight there, and it's not just like a bunch of bad people. It's a big variety, from totally corrupt evil people to very good people. But you do know that the arena isn't just for slaves; it's also for those who are like gladiatorial, that want that godly status among men to fight and be the best, like no one ever was.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, so you get close to the city, and now finally you are entering the gates. As they open up, you see the lush palm trees, and finally just a sign of life. It's very humid now that you're getting closer to the shoreline, but it's massive. The city is huge. It's at least 200,000 people in these walls. Your cage is cramped, and you're dragged, huddled through the streets. Basically, you're just kind of like smashed together. And as you're passing, you notice that people are actually starting to look predominantly human, but you do see other races. You see a few dwarves. You see even a couple elves, which surprises you because you know elves to be kind of the more calm and beautiful people who don't do that. But these guys are like pirate type elves. Does that make sense? So they're not exactly the cast that you'd normally see. As you pass some people, you hear the word "Takiuta," and basically, as you're you hear that and they spit. Yeah. So he says, they call us that because it says you're the unclean slave, and they disrespect you.
They're the unclean pirate elves.
Mostly human. This is their language. You don't know what any of this means, but basically you can understand that this is probably primordial. It's an old world. It's basically shut off from the rest of the world. It's been around for a long time. Their ways, their customs, they haven't really progressed in the terms of like the armors and the weapons. It's very, very old world.
Man, I'm gonna
It
punch
feels
people really
it feels
hard,
very
man.
odd here, and you feel very naked without your your garments that you wore from Zost. You don't have your raiments, your insignias claiming where you're from or who you are. People respected the war priests of Zost. They're very like okay, they serve Azrael. He's this like really strong celestial god. Well, he's kind of like a demigod, but. And to explain where you are from, so just so they know, they were the sons of a acolyte of Azrael in Zost, which is the top right corner if you are looking at the map. It is a beautiful island areas. It used to be floating islands back in the day, but the magic has long since passed, and they've tumbled to the ground, and they have made little smattering of islands. They have little like Acropolis type things set up, very beautiful, very ornate, very Greek-like structures with like Corinthian like columns, pyramids. And the way they were developed there, their mother died at childbirth. They were together since birth. They've always been together. They were trained together, but one showed an aptitude towards like the monk way of life, kind of using the sun as a protector, Aasimar. And then the Fallen, he did more of a horizon walker. That's what he is. Basically, he's able to channel magic and understand portals and kind of feel the different planes where they're at. He also uses that power. So they kind of separated them, but were always together. Anyway, so when they died, spoiler, they're dead.
Dang it!
You rolled a 6. Anyway, when the mother died, the priests decided to raise them the best they could. And give them human names, and Aasimar don't let themselves be known as Aasimar. They want to hide it because fiends and demons and things like that want to find you and challenge you and kill you.
Don't we like look different? We
You look different in the sense that you look like when you look at someone who's, for instance, like a really charismatic person, you kind of can tell the way they exude them, like this like energy. In your It almost is like a glow, but it's like you can't really tell. Maybe you're just like, oh, the sun is in my eyes. They're just very bright. But no, you actually look you look human. You act human. But when you use your power, your eyes go white, and you grow those like wings. But that's only with people around you can see it. Like I think it was 30 feet, and then yours is 10 feet, and your eyes turn black. A little bit creepier, in my opinion. White is terrifying, but.
Love that.
But anyway, they're opposite spectrums. As Azrael is the god of protecting the realm, he used light, but he also used dark. So when the mother gave birth, she basically, in essence, was both. Like you were translated to like a light, and you were the dark side of Azrael. So you're both good in nature, but you're not exactly.
We're totally the lemongraphs.
Yeah.
Yin and yang.
I haven't seen that yet.
What's this rigmarole?
I'll have to watch Adventure Time. It's on my list of what to watch. But yeah, you have a very interesting backstory, and we'll get more into that later, and we'll kind of put it out there. But anyway, so you're dragged through the streets for quite a long time in this cage. You finally you reach this you're following the stone wall on the right side, going all the way across, and you reach this huge temple, which isn't like a pyramid, but it's stacked like this. So it's got like a 4-tiered kind of Aztec look temple to it. You do notice that it's very well carved, like beautifully, like ornate. As you get closer, you do see kind of a slave quarter. They open this huge gate with guards, like tower shield guards with big spears, just standing there as you get inside, and they're like 7 feet tall. These guys are like, you don't want to try to mess with these guys. Oh. They're huge. Roll history check on the guards, if you would.
Oh boy.
13.
I got a 10. 9.
Okay, you've read about them. The way you kind of see these like slit shield like helmets, kind of like old Roman Greek-ish, where it's like along here, and you just have these slits right here and the slit right here. You kind of see just through one of the slits, you see tattoo or like makeup, like blue, and the way how tall they are, you can tell that they're Goliaths, which is a newer race. They're very big.
Some sort of giant.
Oh yeah, it's basically like a part giant. So yeah, you don't want to mess with those guys. Anyway, you reach the temple quarter. They close the gates behind you, and then the gates finally open for your cage. And as you're dragged out one by one, a man walks up who is wearing like a headdress type thing. He's kind of got a mask on, and he takes the mask up, and he looks over the group of slaves, and he says, "Pitiful, absolutely pitiful. This is what you bring me." And as you're kind of watching him walk around, he kind of grabs one of the slavers that brings you, and the slaver, he just like immediately like cowers to him. So obviously he's kind of a figure, and he says, "It's the best we could find. We found them up in the Grimmire Peaks, and they were easy catch. There was an easy catch." And he seems very upset. He's just like, "I'm not looking for an easy catch. We're looking for actual prospects of slaves." And so he grabs the guy and just says, "I'll take the lot, but you won't get more than a copper." And you can see the agitation in the slaver, because he just dragged you across the whole desert, and he's just getting nothing. But you can see like a fear in his eyes, and he lets it go and just he scurries off. Like he leaves the cage, leaves the camel that was dragging you guys. He's done.
I'm out of here.
The guards stay. They were part of the actual slavers area here, and they one by one begin to like shave everyone. Like shave their beards, shave their heads. It's and you guys are up next. And I'm gonna let you guys go from here. Do what you want to do. The time will pass, and we'll see how we survive. You guys have never been slaves before. You've always just been, "Hey, let's go on a quest. We're in a tavern. Let's do things." It's gonna be a little bit different in this one. It's gonna be a little bit more brutal. And good luck.
Oh, glob. So we're next to be shaven.
You guys have like long,
My
luxurious.
beautiful locks.
Yeah, I was like,
My beautiful locks. I've never had that.
well,
Now it's being taken away in my fantasy. You get nothing.
nothing ever. I'm gonna. Is he reaching for one of us?
You can see they're cutting with these like sheep shearer things. Like it's not even like a clean cut. It's not like a good shave. It's just demoralizing, quick shave. You guys don't have beards. You have very smooth faces. I believe you can grow beards, but at this point you're not. You just Aasimar in particular look very angelic, and elves typically don't grow a lot of facial hair unless they really work at it, I guess. I don't think Aasimar are probably the same. It's a general assumption. They're kind of new, so
They gotta use
we'll figure out what we think. Anyway, so the next guy comes up, and you're next. So, big guy, probably about like, he's not huge. He's about 5'8", but he's like muscular. He looks like he could have been a dwarf. He's like a really tall dwarf.
Weird.
Yeah, and he's like he just grabs you by the back of the neck and like tries to bend you to your knees.
I'm gonna go whoosh, and grab his hand.
Okay, roll
trying to-
strength check.
Trying to shear me. 8 + 4, 12.
Oh, all right. You catch him off guard. I rolled a 2. He rolled an 8. Well, his strength is +3, so it still doesn't win. So you grab his hand just as he's about to shear. You grab him right here. What do you do? Are you grappling him, or what are you planning on doing?
I'm going to grab him like this, grab his hand, and bring him down like this. Like,
kind of like
this.
Like twist him. Ah! All right, so he drops the shear and he just like falls to his knee, and like the reaction, he's totally unprepared. And as you do that, guard comes up from behind and tries to smack you in the back with like just bashing the back of the head with the spear. He missed. Like just in the scuffle, he like came up and tried to bunt you, but he missed just in the scuffle. But then another one comes over and does the same thing.
Oh!
And rolls a crit. And
Oh man, my head.
all right, so you take 6 + 4. Okay, so
Oh dang.
you take 12 damage.
Butts.
So he just bunts you in the back of the head and just kind of knocks you prone. And then the dwarf hastily picks up the shears and begins cutting your hair right off your head.
Oh man, my head. Not again.
That was semi off camera. So
I'm not really in there.
No.
I don't think I've been in the whole time.
we call him Two-Face. Anyway,
See, picking your nose off
so
to the side.
as you see your brother's head get shaved, what are you thinking right now?
I'm like, oh no.
Is that how your inner monologue sounds?
No.
Oh no!
No.
That's gotta piss you off.
Right. To see him emasculated, and I mean, he might as well be a woman.
Bend me over!
I'm just kidding.
No, you're good.
He's basically a...
So
jeez.
I'm ticked, and I am going necrotic shroud on these guys.
Oh dang! Oh, we're going guns blazing. All right, this is a once a day thing, so go ahead and do what you're gonna do.
I want to intimidate them. Like,
Okay.
you're messing with the wrong people here.
Okay, most awesome are try to keep it hidden. They're going all out right away. Don't mess with us. All right, go ahead.
So I figure people only within 10 feet will see it, so anybody else won't really believe him
That's true.
if he says anything about it.
You do see there's just a few grunt type workers around.
So I rolled 17.
This
on
is just something.
intimidation.
This is something you just do.
Plus, I guess. I guess he has to.
Okay, all rolled under 17. The highest was a 12.
I don't know what they have to do about like taking damage, but
You haven't hit them.
oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's basically you pick a target and
Uh-huh.
you hit that target, and then you can pick a new target as you go. But
Okay.
it's on your turn that you pick a target,
I see.
and that one takes the necrotic plus your attack.
Okay.
So unless you're planning on striking someone, which
I'm not necessarily.
you're not doing that just yet.
I'm
But
not
they
ready for that.
as soon as you do that, so they're sitting there cutting, and you're just kind of like grunting and yelling a little bit, and all of a sudden he just goes, and like his eyes go black, and these wings, the skeletal wings, pop out. And what do you say to them? Or are you just staring at them?
Yeah, I don't think I need to say anything.
So the dwarf cutting's like, and then drops the shears and backs up, like not just backs up, but like scurries away. Like he backs up against the wall, and he just starts like yelling in primordial, and you don't understand what he's saying. The other guards back up as well, and at this moment,
I'm
one
going to help Cry up
okay,
after they back away.
he's got like this part shaved off,
Hey,
but
that's
like
styling.
it kind of you're like thanks dwarf. So at that, it kind of looked cool.
I'm down with that.
It's kind of messy. You might have to fix it later, but anyway. So as you do this, the very nicely robed man with the headdress walks over, and he steps into the shroud, and he's not intimidated at 19 plus 4, so he's not intimidated. But he walks over to you. He's not intimidated, but he walks over to both of you and says, "Where did you get these two?" And he's impressed. He's like looking at your like the wings that are like skeletal, that are like kind of like moving on their own in the back, and he just says, "These two are special. Kill the rest." And so the other guys are like, "Oh, whoa," and they take out the rest of the guys. There was only like 3 left, so it wasn't like terribly sad. But I mean, it was sad.
It's only 3.
3 souls, whatever. Anyway, so you guys are sitting there. You're sitting there, and you're just trying to look your toughest. You stand up, and you're just like, "This is nothing.
I look good.
I wanted this. I needed a haircut."
You did what I wanted.
Bisque.
So he says, "Cleanse these 2 and bring them to the temple."
I can take my own bath, thanks.
And he looks at you, and for just a split second, actually, I want you to roll perception. See how much of this you actually see. Oh! Okay, we've rolled like what, 3 20s?
3, yeah.
3 20s. This show's called Natural 1, so maybe that's a thing.
Somebody's got loaded dice.
He's on to us.
There's only a weight in there. It's
Anyway, so as you kind of tell them this, you're just saying we're fine. You wanted to look at him as he's like saying this, and this is insight or perception, whichever. But the more you look at him, you see like for a split second his eyes go from like kind of a brown to kind of a yellow with like a slit, and then back to brown.
He's a reptilian.
So something weird about this guy. He says to you, "My name is Ammonius, and I will meet you at the temple. Don't cause any more trouble, or I can't protect you." He said, "But there's something better for you than just working at the temple."
I guess we don't have a choice then.
No, you always have a choice.
I'm going to fly with my bone wings.
You cannot.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Leave this place.
He's the only one that just bye.
We've been brothers. It's been real.
So he doesn't know what you are.
Oh, that's right.
He knows what he is. He just knows that you fought and were able to catch the dwarf off guard, put him to the ground, and you scared everyone away.
Unfortunate I didn't know he was that close.
Well, he wasn't, but then he got close because he saw them all backing away, terrified, and all he saw you goes ah, and they're just like, he's like, why did they back away? Anyway, so he leaves. You see him just kind of bit his leave, and you see him speaking to one of the guards, like the Goliath guards, and he nods to the other one, and then they close the gate and they put their shields in front of it and like bar it. Like even more because they're not sure what you are. You can get that just from watching that. All right, so you're escorted to your quarters. When I say quarters, it's a cage against the stone wall. So there's cages lined up against the temple, and they're all backing it very firmly, set into it. And each person has a cage. It's like 4x4. It's like no space at all, but enough for you to kind of like sit and lean if you were to sleep in there. There is one other man in there. He is unconscious at the moment. He doesn't look well, but you see that he's probably pretty strong and capable, but at this moment he is not much for talk, as he's out. Alright, so they send someone for you in about 2 hours. They kind of like scrub you down from the sand, which honestly you're kind of okay with at this time. It's not like a nice bath, it's like these bristly, just like getting the dirt off you type situation. They do hand you a water flask each and let you drink, and then they drag you forward. You're in basically loincloth at this moment as you're dragging you through the streets. Not like dragging because you just got clean, but they're like chained by the wrists, pulling you down the street. It's cobbled, and people are staring at you too. These two very pale, one with a very interesting haircut, being dragged.
I'm a trendsetter. Oh.
That's how it started.
All those thousands of years ago.
You get to the stone steps of the temple, which is just leading up. Just it's a good like 10-minute walk going up these steps. It's not like it's that high. It's just these steps are pretty intense. Like you got a leg workout going to the top. It's thigh day.
Sweet thighs.
All right, so you get to the top, and at that moment you see him, and you see him one other man, which. This man's even more ornate than the last, even more ornate than him. And he's very calm, but he goes by the name Aron. And he says to you, okay, so these are the ones that you brought towards me. What do they do exactly? And Amonis looks over at you, the guy who you talked to in the slave quarter, and he just says, explain yourselves, who are you? Now you can choose to do what you want with that. With me, everything has a weight and decision. There's like multiple outcomes for everything. So depending on what they do, it's always fun for them.
I say we are simply travelers.
Roll deception. With disadvantage, because he saw you with wings. I'm just saying, this is the way it works.
Oh, deception?
Yeah.
9.
Okay.
Oh!
Nope. So, you see Arlen look over at you and just kind of squint his eyes and like, he says something, "You're dusk!" And all of a sudden the guy comes over and tries to beat you in the back. Roll the 3. These guards aren't, they're a little nervous. He swings at him and just...
Can we just say like he broke his stick on me and I didn't move?
It wasn't a 1, but basically it was like, and it like didn't even budge you. I'll say that. Didn't break it. But then, that's it. He's got nothing. He just kind of like backs away. Like he just...
What the heck?
You're not incredibly strong. He's just...
Right.
People have been messing up around you, so it makes you look stronger than
Right.
you are. Which is good. Roll with it. Roll with it.
So I'm
Bad
gonna
hire
say,
day.
okay, look, fine. I don't want to belittle your intelligence. We are clearly not your average run-of-the-mill person. However, I choose not to tell you the full extent of what I am, but you may call me Weirin.
Weird. So you're not going to tell me where you're from?
Do I need to?
You are my slave.
How would that benefit you?
I'm curious what kind of creature or human or whatever you think you are that can suddenly sprout wings, as he told me. Could you do it again for me? Show me what you can do.
I cannot.
It's true. He's just like, cannot or will not. You see him losing his patience.
Cannot. I assure you.
And he just says, he looks at Ammonius and he just kind of starts speaking to him in like a rushed, angry tone. And just, Ammonius is just like seething. And he's just looking over at you, just like giving you this death glare, just like, I'll make you do it. And then he looks over at you and he says, you look relative. Are you brothers?
Relatively large.
You're both there. Ever impressive.
Come and hit me with that stick.
We're like got twinkling
I'll
stars
show
around us.
you. His eyes
Show
are
you,
glowing.
show you the impressive Armstrong lineage.
I say we just happen to be in the same cage brought over here.
Roll deception. You look very similar.
I'm nothing special.
Oh.
2 plus
Yeah, you lost that one.
nothing.
Okay. So, he barely catches it. He kind of believes you for a second, but then he's just like, you are amazing. There's something about you that's just, I want to know more, but you're both liars. I can't trust you. I can't have you in my house. But I'll tell you what I will do. Most people, they work on the temple. They do some menial job until they die. Or we kill them, whichever comes first. But you are special. There's something about you, but I don't trust you. And you just see him like having this like exterior monologue. Like he's like trying to think in his head what to do with you. But clearly you've lied to him. You've frightened him to an extent. At least you frightened people around him, people that trust him. You didn't frighten Ammonius, so he's kind of like, okay, so he's not afraid of that. He's kind of judging the whole situation. He says, well, I am the leader of the arena. You've heard of the Grand Arena, of course. The ever-changing, constant battles and beautiful works of art that I create for the people of this city. Now, you wouldn't be interested in that sort of thing, would you?
Here's the thing. For you not to trust us, how do you expect us to trust you after you enslaved us?
It is not for the owner of the slave to expect his slave to trust him.
Vice versa. we're not.
Well, we're not in the position, so quite frankly, you will do what we say, and that's that. But I was curious, what manner of weapon would you yield if you were in the arena? What would you use?
Your mother.
Do you say that?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think Weirin would say that.
Probably
No, I don't
probably
think
best
so.
that Weirin
I don't
doesn't
think
say
so.
that.
You're gonna get another stick to the ass.
Weirin's smarter than that.
I say I'd rather put a hole in someone's face with my fist than any weapon that you have for me.
And if you were to work, let's say, for a time, doing something, what kind of tools would you use?
Got a hammer?
Okay. And what would you do? What special skills would you think you have? If we were to put you to work. Most don't get the luxury of these questions, might I add.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Something with a little more finesse.
Like what?
Like.
Let me give you some options. So, he's discussing this with you, and you feel that it's very odd for someone in this position to be even talking to you. Here are the different tools, all very different things. So start looking over that while I'm giving this little spiel. He says, well, we don't put people in the arena immediately. They have to show their worth. And clearly you are both strong. Clearly you are both capable of fighting. But people don't just want fighters. They don't want people to just run in and die. We want fighters that give a show, that give the people their money's worth. So we put our people to work for some time to see where they best fit and where they best will die in the arena, as it were. And so if you work better with a hammer, let's put you to work at least for a time until we decide what to do with you. Separated from your brother. Clearly, brother. You don't need to lie.
Well, if that's the case, I am also pretty damn good with a paintbrush.
with a paintbrush. He's like, there are some things that we need painted. We'll see what we can find for you. Now, mind you, you attack one more of our guards, you lose the hand you used to strike with. Let me be very clear, that is not a warning, that is a promise. You cause any unrest with the slaves or any of the people, if you so much speak to a citizen outside a question being asked to you, you lose your tongue.
Fair enough.
And so he says, again, that's a promise. We do not warn more than once. This is your official word.
Leatherworking.
All right, so
tools.
he tells you that you tell him that you'd like to work with your hands and you like to make things. Okay, so he says, well, we do have a tanner that recently died in the arena, as it were. So you take his space, make us fine leather, and we'll see if we can find you a place. But again, what I just told him, you're not allowed to do anything remotely rebellious or you die. Lose things. You know, you won't last long with one hand. And by the way, don't show too much promise in the slave quarters. And then with that, you do see kind of a veiled, like, threat there. You're not sure what it means, but that's what he said. All right, he assigns you your work, and you're off. And a month passes.
Oh.
So after a month, you have both been whipped, you've been shamed, you've just been dragged around, and you've worked your butts off. Like, you've created some pretty decent leather. I want you to roll for your tool.
My tool. I rolled a 7.
Okay, so as you've rolled the 7, it's basically you're kind of a novice at this. You have worked and seen people work with leather before. The beginning of it was very difficult. You've stained your hands with the hide tanning. Everything is pretty intense. But you've done a few fine works, nothing terribly impressive. And I want you to roll for your tools, stonemason stuff.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Dang it. I got a 3.
Now, why do you think you rolled a 3? How do you think you did there? What were you doing?
I don't like this.
You were just... Oh, wait, no, you weren't doing mason stuff. You were painting. Okay, so your paintings were stick figures. You rolled a 3. So essentially, like, you're thinking you're like this artist. You're like going there. That's the god. And so as you're painting this, it's not very great. And a few times, the person that's over you comes by and just kind of laughs and just kind of he's just like, oh, he's dead. He's gonna die soon.
Dang it.
The next month, I want you to roll again.
Let's see if I got better or worse. 13.
Oh my gosh! 2 3s in a row!
That's to make up for your 20s.
All right, so you're getting better every day in every way. You're just
crap.
finding more and more ways to get around and faster and more efficient. Meanwhile, you've still been working on the same
Brother
stick
struggles.
figure.
Brother struggles.
You've drawn about 1,000. You've drawn about 1,000 stick figures, like all in a row, praying. They're nothing too impressive, but the simplistic way of it kind of is alluring, but mostly insulting. It's more comical than anything. And so you've been fired. Pick a new trade. After about 50 lashes.
That's for 1 stick and 2. What are my options?
These are your options.
Oh, buns of steel. Okay. Okay.
And you can always go to. I think there's.
I was gonna say like thieves' tools, but I don't think.
No, I'll make things work.
Oh,
Whatever you think would work. This is going to be important later in your development as well. This is kind of a development stage of your characters.
I'm gonna do.
Want to do things a little different this time.
I'm
Since
gonna
it's a
do.
new.
I'm gonna do a. Smith's tools.
All right. So
Smith.
actually, now that you're doing smith work, you actually see a lot more of him. I want you to both roll for your next month.
Oh! Come on, no more 3s.
1.
10.
8.
You are better at this. You are better.
Jump
What did you roll?
10.
Oh,
All right,
glob.
So the month's been kind of dragging out. They've been beating you more frequently, getting you like hardened, and every day you get to this like you get to the slave quarters, it's not a pretty picture. There are no guards within. It's people get shanked every day in there. There's people fighting against each other. It's really this like crazy place. It's almost like the whole air of that area is very just like dense with just like anger and hate. So these people are just miserable, and some people end up killing each other. Guards have to come in and separate heads from bodies rather than the people. And so it's pretty rough in there. You may be getting less sleep. So that's probably what's going on. You're like watching over at night. All right, roll again for the next month.
Oh man.
Yeah, we've been here for a bit.
Oh man. 11.
12.
Oh.
And those are the numbers I'm looking for, above 10 each. All right, so you both seem to have a steady groove in the way of things. It's been a few months, and they decide to keep you in these positions for the remainder of your lives. So you are getting quite proficient in working with tools and like making weapons. You do know that there's not much chance of escape, but between you two, you've seen like the inner workings of how their armor and their weapons are made, which may come at an advantage in the future for you depending on what you do in your fights or whatever. Just letting you know that ahead of time. I'm kind of changing things up a little bit to make it a little bit more personable for you guys as you've developed this time. As you've been in the slaves' quarters, you've heard of a few people mention just like a slight hint of rebellion, but probably not much hope for it. You work with weapons every day, and you work with armor every day. Just thoughts. Placing things in your head for maybe future stuff. But as for now, you work an entire 2 years doing this. And
Man, I'm good.
you are now proficient in those tools, which you weren't before. All right. You kind of forget things. You notice that, and you kind of try to hang on to it. I want you to each roll a wisdom check. Or saving throw.
20.
20?
Not natural, but 20. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
3 plus
Oh, it's saving,
3,
isn't it? Yeah.
6.
Okay, that's not great. But you, however, are not under a spell.
I'm not under a spell.
You noticed that not just the slave quarter, but the areas where you're working have a kind of like a grayish cloud over them. It feels as if it was an actual spell, and the more you focus on it, you're realizing that this isn't just a simple thing. This is an arcana check. You can't tell what kind of magic it is, but you can tell that this is something is affecting the minds, and you finally broke free of it. So your brother hasn't, but you are in cages together at night with this one guy who keeps going. He doesn't talk ever, but he's there, and it's just you guys.
I am going to slap my brother.
All right. Are you intending to cause damage, or are you just intending to?
Enough to wake him up.
He's sleeping. Okay, so he's like sleeping, and you just want to slap him. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Or are you just like
bring him out of his.
All right. I want you to just roll a d20.
Okay. Oh, it's an 8.
All right. You hit him, but but he just kind of like what? What would you do if your brother just suddenly walked up and slapped you without
I'd
provocation?
be like, dude, why?
'Cause you're under a spell.
How
Brother.
how would you know?
And for you, you don't believe you're under a spell.
Because I see it all
I
around.
feel fine though. Besides, I'm a slave, and I'm starving and beaten, and my back's got 500 scars.
Wake up, dang it.
I'm awake now.
You see that it's not really having an effect on him, but you do know that with more provocation, more like trying to show him this, he may have a better chance or an advantage on some of his roles in the future. Another month passes. Time is just flying by, and old El Jadra.
Oh crap!
You kind of get through the kind of haze. It doesn't affect you anymore. Now that you've seen it, you know what to look for and when it kind of happens. It happens early morning. It almost like seeps from the ground. It just kind of comes onto you guys. There's a specific spot that you're noticing that it's coming from, over in the corner of the entire place. It's against the wall, against gate.
They have a fog machine.
It's a fog machine.
Ooh.
Tell me, brother, don't you see it?
No.
So the man that you work with is actually the same person that's in your cage. So he's working, and then one day, you're both here for this. It's early morning, and all of a sudden some guards come marching into the area, and they all start pointing spears at your cage, and you're all sleeping there. And then one guy steps forward. You've never seen him before. He's very like slender. He's got like really like fine jagged features, and he kind of like hisses angrily at his guards and just like, open that gate. And so they immediately open their cage, and they drag you all out and force you to your knees. There's enough of them that rolling a strength check in this wouldn't probably do anything with your weakened state of little to no food and water for almost 2 years. You're going on 2. It's a year and a half. And they drag you out, and they start just pulling your cots out. Like, not cots, just like matted like stuff that you guys sleep on. They pull it all out, and then they pull out a sword in the ground. It's a curved sword, so it's like a khopesh. Have you ever seen those?
Oh, yeah.
Egyptians used to have them, so it's straight. It's like a sickle blade. Anyway, so they pull it out, and you've seen these blades. You've made these blades, hundreds of them. You don't know how this blade got in here.
Yeah, that's weird. I was about to say, I was like,
I didn't do that. Did I do that?
Sword out of the ground.
All right, so immediately they look at you two, you and the other guy, and the other guy hasn't been speaking, and then he points at you two, and he just says, "Who am I killing?"
I say, I'm just baffled. Like,
It's beautifully said.
It was so poetic.
say,
Causes a tear to my eye.
I did not make such an unrefined blade.
I want you to roll persuasion. Oh no. And then
5 plus. I have no persuasion. It's 5.
all right, so he says, "Look." Finally, you hear him speak. "I have never made such a terrible blade in my life." And he says it very well. They can tell he's kind of more local, just slightly more articulate than you. They don't necessarily believe either of you. After a little bit of an insight look at you guys, just kind of seeing you, and he just says, "You're fairly new. I don't think he's ever done this before. He's never done this. We've never been missing a blade until you showed up."
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, cranberries.
He's like, "So how shall you die? You want to be thrown into the snake pits, a spear through the heart? Come on, just make a pick."
Throw me to the arena.
All right, you just heard your brother volunteer for the arena.
I'd rather die fighting than being shamefully killed by a snake, by the tongue of a serpent, or the point of a blade.
I want you to roll a history check, both of you, since you've been here. There's something that you've been seeing but not seeing.
Okay, that was not.
Yeah, you just do your normal roll.
Yeah, so I was like, I fell right on my hand. Yoink. 19.
Oh boy.
You, in your time painting beautifully, notice that the serpent is very renowned here. The fact that you said "die to a snake" and like insulted by it isn't great. Immediately you see the guards just like all spit, and they just say "unclean," and they look at you like in Primordial. You all are kind of picking up on it a little bit. You are not fluent in Primordial, but you understand it. Like, you hear enough shouts and things that you kind of can get along if you needed to. Not great, but you can get it. So they're insulted by that, and they said, "So you're insulted by serpents, are you? Perhaps we can deal with you in the arena."
I say, no, I'm not insulted by them, for I saw them and I painted them as best as I could on the murals.
We saw your desecration. The old bathhouse looks terrible. They had to burn it to the ground.
I say, I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, I am not worthy to be killed by the tongue of a snake.
Roll deception.
Freaking digging!
1.
14.
All right.
Wait, do I have this?
All right.
Yeah, bonus there.
You see that he's kind of calming you
Do you have a
down.
bonus?
He believes
Oh.
what you're saying, despite the fact that you insulted their gods a second ago. They're kind of just along the lines of whatever. You know, we don't quite trust you, believe you. We've been told that you're both liars. And he says so. And the one just says, I have charge over you. I was sent to kill you. I think the arena is more sporting, more entertaining. Do you wish to go alone, or would you like to take someone with you? And he looks at the other man next to you as he's like inviting him to go.
And I go, me.
You really do that?
Yeah, it's brothers.
Brother, friends!
You guys need like a secret handshake. It's like slap it. And that like whoosh, the like anime sound. That like
Like when you get hit by the baseball bat in Super Smash Bros.
Right.
We'll take off our
Yeah.
shirts and start flexing. Brothers.
everyone is confused and disturbed.
Like,
And let's just say that you volunteered without all that extra fluff.
I say, my brother. He's the only person I trust in the world.
You're willing to die for him?
Die. We will die like lions.
Die like
I've seen that happen. He's like, but it's not up to me to determine what goes against you in the arena. All right, I will go talk to Ammonius and say that you've desecrated and that you've admitted to stealing, and I will get this all settled up right now.
Didn't admit to stealing.
Yes, you did. And he just like walks out.
What the heck? No.
All right, and
Yes, you did.
a couple hours pass by. It's midday. Few hours more than just a couple. It's hot. It's like a miserably hot day. Dead summer, and you guys are dragged from your cages, and you just hear as you get closer to the center. It kind of goes up a little bit, and it's kind of towards the coast area, and it's just huge. You've seen it. It's not hard to miss the arena, but it's big. It takes up a huge portion of the city. It's made for entertainment by far. How this was made goes back and back. This is something that it was actually a city inside this, and over time they have totally changed the insides of it. They put water inside of it, like the old Colosseums and actual life. They've done elaborate city battles. They've done everything, and mages can quickly tear down, create. They've got special architects that do this sort of madness. You are now destined to go to the arena. This should be interesting. All right. As you get closer to the arena, Auron steps out, and he walks up to a man who's being dragged behind you guys now that you notice, and the man that was next to you in the cage. And they're just like, we decided to kill. We decided to kill all of you just for the sake of who knows. It could have been you. It could have been him. We don't want to risk a rebellion, and 3 is better than none. All right, so his name is Odeon, and he's going to be dying with you today. And Auron's very excited. He says, "It's a shame that we have to kill you, but I don't care. I'm tired." And you see he's drunk. Like, it's noon, but he's drunk, like very drunk. And they say, Ammonius, just take him to the arena. Just take him. Go have fun with him. Surprise me what you kill them with. And the crowds are starting to like go into the arena. You see that they're getting ready for your death. It's a daily thing. People are thrown into this just for fun. People volunteer, much like you did, but for different reasons. They get paid gold. You get paid with maybe you live. All right. As you get to the arena, and I prepared for this as well, they have set before you a few items. And I want you to roll perception for what items you are particularly going to be drawn to.
Ooh.
I have numbers for each of you.
For
I got
perception,
21.
Nice. You have the pick of the litter.
17.
So you see spears. You each have like a little rack that you get to choose from. Different each.
Oh.
All right, so with a 21, you have the choice of a sickle sword, much like you've been making, a sword and buckler, so like a small shield, like a really crappy rusty sword. I mean, it's a sword, it will do. And then you see also a trident and net. Now you are a monk.
Pick one?
Now you are a monk. You can, just to let you know, you are proficient in short swords, and really that's it. Like you have a few simple weapons, like very easy to use weapons, like a monk would, like almost like farming tools. Like you have
Quarterstaff.
quarterstaff, things like that. These aren't really your forte, except for the short sword and buckler. You can always just have the buckler to like use to get rid of, or just you have to take both with you. It's just the way it works. But short sword, you are more proficient in.
I'm gonna take.
Just letting you know as a character, because I'm not sure you know that as a monk yet. He had no time to look over his character at all.
I'm gonna take the short sword and the net.
You shouldn't. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, oh.
Oh no! Just kidding. All right. And you roll for your thing. What did you roll?
17.
17.
Yeah.
All right. You see the same smattering, but in this time you see a dagger and you see a short bow. That's the only thing that's different on yours. The same. You have the short sword buckler, you have a sickle sword, and you have a trident and net, as well as a short bow and a dagger.
Dagger.
I assume there are arrows with this short bow.
There are 4.
You can only use
4
dirt.
arrows.
So that's an option. You use the
am-
arrows. You just have a bow.
Am I limited on what I can take, or no?
You have to pick one of these
One.
things.
One.
They're not like arm yourself to the teeth.
Right?
You're not exactly favored among them yet. It may change over time if you survive. If you don't survive, then I have some other options for that too.
I am going to... Am I still on loincloth?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, you don't get armor. Not yet. You guys are the beginner class, man. And you've also stolen from the Royal Armory. Convicted.
Framed us. Someone framed us.
I will take the dagger.
All right. The dagger it is.
Not the bow. E2.
It's only 4 arrows.
Oh.
All right. So
But you
you
can reuse them?
you walk up and just take the dagger.
If they don't break.
It's actually more of a kukri knife.
Okay.
It's kind of has that like sickle type shape,
Yeah.
but it's got that little curve to it.
Uh-huh.
Really not beautifully made, but it's all right. He might have made
I
it.
was like, hey,
This is your shoddy work.
what the hell's this?
You could have made better weapons. All right.
I'm
So
sick.
as you pick your weapons, Ammonius comes up behind you, and you didn't actually notice him enter the room, and the other guards have now left, and he's standing there by himself in a room full of weapons and you guys. I'm not saying you can attack him. I'm just saying that's anyway. So he looks at you guys, doesn't look nervous. He doesn't have a weapon on him, but he looks at you guys and just says, "I can't believe you just walked right in and you volunteered, so eager to die. Well, today the guards told me what you'd said down at the quarters, and I'm personally insulted. Have fun."
Thanks and no thanks.
So
Why do we care what he thinks?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at him, just be like, oh, okay.
So
Thanks.
he walks out and just says, "I'll enjoy watching you die. I've prepared this special for you."
I'm
And
gonna give them the equivalent
Bring
of
it
whatever this
on.
country's flip off is.
it's basically like a scratch across the chest, like this. And he sees you do that, and he's like, "Vulgar trash."
Your mother.
And he turns around just like with his robes flip as he just looks at you and just says, "I would watch your tongue."
I look at him too, and I just go like this 3 times
You both are just scratching your chest.
with a keen look in my eye, like this.
All right, so he ends up just fuming, angry, and he walks out. That was very vulgar for him. It's basically like an insult to his ancestors type thing.
We were told it means peace among worlds.
Inspiration.
All right, sorry, no inspiration for that, but that was beautiful. Friendship inspiration. You can use it for one favor. All right, and here we go. As the gates open and people stand behind you, just pushing you out with unnecessarily, you know where you're walking. And Odeon actually picked up a trident and a net. He doesn't know how to use it. Doesn't look like he knows how to use it. Just kind of like fumbling with the net a little bit. He's probably going to die soon. You are being pushed out into the arena, and as you get closer, you kind of hear words being said like loudly almost like a loudspeaker if to basically put it into words, but it's basically a voice enhanced with magic. You've never heard it before, but it's loud and echoey off all the walls, and this arena is huge. It's not packed. You're not like a high, like good slaves are gonna die. It's more like I'm on lunch break. Let's go watch these guys die. And all right, so this is what you hear the announcer yelling. You miss the beginning of it, and you just hear, on the eve of Zephyros, of our own beloved young prince and his friends were brutally murdered and tossed into a great pit, ending the line of the previous ruler. The raiders were never found, but perhaps tonight we will see a representation of how they died in the battle, how it went. And everyone just kind of, yay! So you see a great pit as you enter, and it kind of slopes down into this pit that, as you can kind of see, has spikes sticking out of it. So you don't want to fall into that.
Is it in the middle?
It's in the middle. So the arena all slopes down, all sand, very slippery as you step out. It's just kind of like sandstone with sand over it. So not great for walking.
Hard sand, soft sand.
But you see there are some trees, there's kind of a cart, and there's like a stone pillar. It's well done and put together. It's very beautiful place to die at, except for the pit. That doesn't look too exciting. As you enter the arena, no one's cheering for you, but you hear kind of a couple boos and hisses and just kind of like, yeah, or just like, yeah, kill him already. And you see the other side of the gate open, and you see, hold on, how many? All right, so you see two big guys and one massive guy. So they're bigger than you already, and then the one guy that's coming out is kind of dragging a mace, like a big mace. And these guys are dressed in like raider type gear. They've got like the turbans, they've got the sashes, they've got the knives in their sashes and everything. And they see you guys, and two start jogging around to the side, and one guy starts coming down this side. So it started. You hear horns go.
Okay.
And you're not quite in initiative yet because they're not close enough. They're about like 100 yards off.
100 yards.
It's a big arena.
How close are we to some of the surroundings, like the pillar and the cart and the tree?
The cart is close to you because it looks like they've set you up as like they said, like you remember that they said the young prince and his friends.
Okay.
So they've set you up in these kind of like, oh, these guys got murdered. It's like scenarios that they would retell histories with, and so you're put in this arena like your guys are going to get slaughtered,
right?
And they're the raiders that killed you. It's nothing impressive. It's just a routine day-to-day, let's get these guys killed. They don't expect you to win, but you may not.
Let's go up to the small guys first. I tell Odeon, is his name Odeon?
Odeon.
Odeon, let's go for the small guys first.
So one of the small guys ran around the left side of the pit, to your left, and one of the small guys with the large guy is coming around.
So one of the small guys is by himself.
By himself.
Let's go after that guy. Yeah.
Let's pummel him.
Yeah.
So you don't have much time, but you immediately, Odeon, he's just like, yeah, okay, so you just start jogging, and I want you to roll a dexterity, because as you're running, you're getting a feel for the ground.
Is this a saving throw, or is it a...
It's just a dexterity.
10.
Oh, wait. Oh, so yeah, plus 6.
Nice.
17.
Okay, so everyone's fine. All three of you are just running steadily along the sand. You've been working outside in the sand all day, every day, so you kind of got a more of a sure footing for this fight. Congratulations.
I live for this.
The other
Live for
guys
sand.
rolled a 2, a 12, and a 4. So two of them are having a hard time. They're like kind of, they're doing okay. None of them just slipped and died immediately.
They're slipping on marbles.
Toss some marbles out there.
All right, but none of them have disadvantage for sure. They've been in this arena a few times. Maybe not this setup. It changes every single time they're in here. So that's always fun. All right, so you guys start taking off with the other ones. The other guys start picking up pace because they see that, okay, we probably should have gone together. That guy's getting attacked by 3 guys at once. All right, so roll initiative.
14 plus 3, 17.
13.
All right, so what'd you get?
17.
All right, and you got
13.
And he got 13 as well, so he'll go after you. Odeon, and then this other guy. Okay. All right. Use your attack first. So you're getting close to him, and now you're in a range to either throw or run and hit him.
I'm going to...
You're faster than the rest of them. If you're unarmored, you move 30 plus 10. So you can move 40.
Dang, I'm like...
You can...
Booking it.
Yeah. And if you're unarmored, you have 13 armor class.
Oh.
If you put on armor, you just lose that armor class, and then you lose the 13. You just go back to 10, and then you up.
Okay.
Just letting you know. As a monk.
Sweat. Okay, so what I'm going to do
Monks are pretty
is
cool.
I'm going to, as I'm running, slide and get a handful of dirt. Well, I'm going to take the net.
Well, you
put it
don't
around
have
me.
the net.
I don't have the net?
You grabbed the sword, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we got two things.
No.
No.
Ew.
You said the sword.
Okay, so
You
I'm
take Odin's net. You can do that. Like
I could. Now we can take this guy. So I'm just going to slide, scoop full of dirt, throw it, sword, wham.
Okay. I will let that be your bonus action to do that. And by the way, rules for us, it's about story for me. I will follow like 95% of the rules. I bend some of the other ones. So deal with that.
9 plus...
So hardcore players,
Proficiency, right?
yeah, it's dexterity throw. Anything ranged is
9 plus 6.
9 plus 6. That's a hit. So as you slide, I actually want you to roll acrobatics too, since you're doing a kind of slide move.
Maneuver.
14 plus 6,
no
20.
problem.
Nice.
So beautifully executed. You just see him take off a little bit ahead of you, swipe up some dirt, and just toss it into his face. It doesn't blind him, but it definitely has him roll a disadvantage on his next move. All right. So, are you doing an attack, or was that your move?
I'm doing a
Sword.
Okay.
wham. Just
So
right.
it's a 1d6. So roll for an attack and then roll for your damage. Should you hit?
Please hit.
That is
15
a hit.
plus 4 strength. 1d6.
Yeah, you both have your bonuses in
I got
your
a 2.
strength and dexterity
Gosh,
as ranger
dang it.
and monk.
Nice.
2.
2. Okay. You are proficient, so it's 2 plus.
Plus what?
3 proficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 5
so
total.
Sweet.
So you kind of slice into him. He can't see you coming, but he kind of catches you a little bit, and it just slices across his chest. It breaks part of the leather that's kind of the strap, and it kind of just like loosens a bit. He kind of catches himself, and then he's getting ready to attack you, but it's your turn.
I am going to follow up with a stab right behind him. I'm gonna just start. I see him pass me.
You're gonna try to flank him, or you just?
No, I'm gonna follow up like right behind him.
Okay.
Like he's gonna do his
You're
attack,
moving
and I'm
together.
gonna be like the
You
next.
guys have been trained from birth to fight. You're
Right.
like Spartans essentially.
Right. 10.
10.
Yeah.
They said
Okay.
Chan.
So 10 total.
Chan.
That is not a hit.
Aww.
So you try to hit him, and he gets cut, and then you see him. He has a long sword, and he slices away your hand, just barely missing the dagger. But it hits like the tip and like misses him. Almost got him. All right, Odion's turn. He runs at him with the net, and he gets him with the net. And then that was a bonus action as a net, and then misses him with this and falls over. He slips. He rolls a 1.
Oh no.
So he tries to stab him with the trident as he hit him with the net, but he slips and he actually almost falls in, but catches himself. He's now prone. He's not out, but has to get up on his next turn.
How wide is this arena? Like, are we like right next to this pit?
You're
We're,
close.
like, right
he
next
was
to
he
it.
was staying pretty close to it.
Okay.
All right. He makes it at disadvantage. Luckily for you, he just makes a blind swing at all of you, and just you dodge it. He barely almost gets you. It like almost you just feel the wind of the sword just like right across, almost hit you. And Odion's on the ground, so he doesn't even almost get hit by it. But by then the other guys are showing up around the back. And one rolls a natural 20, and one rolls
gosh.
a 10 on you and misses. But the 20 did hit. So, and it wasn't the big guy, but the other guy comes up behind you and you didn't even see it coming, and he just slices across your back, leaving a big gash in your back, and that is going to be
Oh, I'm sure my health's back.
4 damage total.
Year and a half.
So you're gonna want to mark that. All right. Things are gonna get kind of crazy. All right. It is now your turn again.
Ah!
You just saw him get sliced in the back. The other guy's kind of blinded, but he's no longer anymore, so he's no longer disadvantaged. However, he does have a net on him, so he has to use his turn to throw that off of him.
Oh. Okay, I want to use Flurry of Blows.
Flurry of bows.
Bows. Oh, I've been decorated. Let's see here. I want to use it on the guy I'm closest to. So
this, you have 3 key points per day. Or per rest.
Okay.
So you can use those all you want until they're gone.
But I can only use 3.
Yeah.
So
and I have next to it,
one.
I have each one labeled.
And you could dedicate 3 points to one skill if you want to use that skill 3 times.
Yeah, if you just want to keep using it.
Okay. I was like,
not in one turn, but
okay. I'm gonna give the old flurry of punches on. Oh my gosh. 3. I punch the air because I'm cool.
that was your first. So you're doing you do 2. Don't you?
I do. Oh, glob.
Failed.
Oh no. 4. Oh my gosh.
Failure.
I forgot how to fight.
It's all right. So it happens. So you come up and just start swinging at him, punching at him, and he's trying to get the net off, but he sees you coming and he just does not want to get killed. He's been in the arena a few times. So he sees the net, but he just kind of blocks the first blow. He takes the second one in the shoulder with the armor, but it was a punch, and it kind of hit him, but it kind of knocked him back. Nothing too severe. Your turn.
My turn.
You just got sliced in the back by Jerkface.
I am. I know I'm not a monk, but I'm going to kick this guy. But I'm going to apply my planar energy at him.
Ooh.
Try to get him in the pit.
Nice. Which one? The guy that hit you or the guy that is in the net?
The guy that's in the net.
Okay.
The original target.
You roll advantage on him because
sweet.
he's grappled technically by
Good thing,
a
too.
net.
So 19.
Oh, yeah, that's a hit.
I guess I roll 1d8. What do I roll for the kick?
So it's let's do a d4 for your kick.
Okay.
And then depending on your damage here.
So 8.
Nice. Okay, well he is next to the
Plus
pit.
force push.
So I'm gonna say yeah, you do that. So as you run up and your foot all of a sudden becomes this like almost like wind just surrounds it and you just boom, you hit him and it's just like you all hear this kind of thud that's like a louder, satisfying thud. And it just like and you just hear him scream, goes with the net off into the spikes. You don't see below, but you hear the sound and it's not pretty. You know he is done. And you hear someone go gong up above, like someone marked his death with a gong. All right, the other 2 men shout and are coming after you specifically.
I do want to prepare myself for that because I know they're right there.
Okay,
I don't know if that does.
but it doesn't as a ready unless you used your action as a ready action. But that's okay. You turn towards them.
I think it's my bonus.
You have a movement of 30 feet. You
That's
could move
true.
away from them.
That's true.
That's probably the best you could do. Might I say though, as a rule for D&D, if you do disengage from people, they have a reaction swing. on you.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that for
Yeah.
now. You can rest of the time you make that decision on your own.
Yeah. No, I wasn't thinking run away.
Do we
but,
both have Step of the Wind?
No,
Oh.
you're a monk.
You can get away.
Yeah.
You can just. All right. So that was your move. All right. So Odeon loses his net, but he's okay with that. He turns with his trident and runs at the big guy and rolls an amazing 19. So he runs and just stabs him in the abdomen with the trident, doing 6 damage. So it just like sticks it in him and kind of like lifts him a little bit and kind of props him, kind of like keeping him away from himself. All right, their turn. All right, big guy takes a swing with his mace at Odeon, who's stabbing him in the stomach.
Yeah.
Hits him. That is a lovely d12. Oh, dang.
Oh.
All right, so he just beans him across the face, and you just see just like
Odeon?
immediately just
Gore.
get. It didn't kill him, but He doesn't look great.
Oh.
He just kind of stumbles backwards, catching himself on the ground, keeping himself barely upright, but you can see he's clearly dazed. The second guy who had sliced you across the back, who you just watched his friend get kicked into the hole, makes a attack on you, and 11 total is a hit. He runs up and tries to grapple you, so now I want you to roll strength against him.
Would this be saving or just a flat-out strength? That's a 9.
He rolled a
Well,
1.
it's
He rolled a 1. So he tries to grapple you, and you just basically jujitsu him and like push him down the ground. He is not off, but he's like teetering on the side, like holding on to something. It was a bad move on his part, but he almost got you. He was gonna throw you in. This could seriously go either way. I try not to play favorites.
How big is the pit?
It's huge.
Okay.
I mean,
I was
I was
assuming
like,
it was
what
kind of
kind
small.
pit is, I was like, is this like
It's
a little
pretty big.
pit in the center? Or?
I mean, it's not like massive, but let's say it's about 70 feet all the way around,
that's
like
big.
circumference,
Oof,
like
it's a big
straight
pit.
across.
That's diameter, right?
Yeah, diameter. What? Math. I just do this math, and that's pretty much it.
20 is all I can count to.
All right, they've done their turns. One is laying on the ground. But so Odeon was kind of too, but he just kind of made a wild swing from the ground with this. He's still prone. He used his action, disadvantage, on the ground and hit him with a 19. The other one was a 19 as well.
I'm going to... Wait, so where is everybody right now? Where is he?
Okay, he's next to the guy. You see him just grab, like the guy tries to grab around his waist and like pull him down to push him into the pit.
How close is he to me?
He's like within 15 feet.
How close?
And
Where's
then
Odeon?
Odeon's currently like falling almost a little bit, but like catching himself. He's got like blood going down his face. It was a big hit. Like he lost teeth. Like it was a strong hit. Probably dislocated or broke his jaw.
Glob. Like how close is he to me?
Probably like 8 feet.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use...
He's kind of on his hands and knees. He's not quite prone, but
Oh, glob. And he had the biggest guy hit him in the face. Yeah. Okay.
that guy's a D12.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use... Oh, this doesn't take points. Okay, so Fury of Blows on the big guy. I want to try and hit him in his solar plexus. Just right here. Just completely...
Knock that arrow out.
Yeah. Solar plexus.
Yeah, if you fight smart, by the way, they know this, but you guys don't. If you do something interesting, I'm gonna help it count. And stealth, if you like shoot someone from afar or you like slit their throat, they're done. Like most of the time, unless it's like a boss. So I don't like stealth to be like, you just do your damage. Like I don't like if you slit someone's throat from behind, they're probably just dead. Like I'm sorry, my hit points are higher than that.
Right.
Dang it. So I'm gonna give one of these right in the solar plexus,
Okay.
and then
Your second one, where are you aiming?
give him one of these right in the throat.
Nice. Good old Wing Chun
One of
punch.
these.
Yeah, straight up the middle.
I love those. Those straight punches are more powerful than wild swings.
Yep. Controlled. Man, I'm glad I took martial arts for reals. I'm glad to be a monk.
I struck you.
And then after that, I want to use a step of the wind, grab him, and just.
Is that
Get
your
out of
bonus action?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not 100%
Oh,
familiar.
glob. Oh, glob.
They're loosely
Yeah.
Plus
interpreted.
what? My 6 plus.
That'd be your dexterity.
So 12.
You got to hit.
Thank you. God!
Just a hit. All right, first one. That was your first attack.
So I'm gonna go. Well, bam!
So the first one you do, you hit him right in the solar plexus, and it kind of just you hear the arrow go out. He's a big guy, but you hear that definitely made impact. Do your next one.
And then. Well, bam! Right in his throat.
All right.
And that's.
Show me what you got.
Show me.
Apparently, this is like a Rick and Morty episode.
Oh my gosh. Oh, 9 plus 6.
Yeah, that's a hit. All right, so the next one hits squarely in the neck. So
Right
first
in
it
his
kind
Adam's
of
apple.
knocks the wind out of him, not totally. The next one definitely causes him to step back, and actually the trident's still kind of in him, and he backs up a little bit. It's not a pretty picture. Do your damage.
Oh, it was a D8. Yeah, it's an 8. Okay, alright, okay. Schling! 5. And schling! 1 plus 3 for proficiency.
Yes.
So 6 plus 3 is 9.
I'm not totally not confused. All right, so total 9.
Mhm.
All right, so you do those 2 moves on him, and he starts coughing a little bit, and he's having a harder time. I'm gonna say against you on his next attack would be a disadvantage swing if he goes for you. He's a little bit nervous the way you just smacked his buddy, and then smacked him really hard. All right.
Okay. I am going to try to do the same sort of thing to the other guy on the ground. Boom, boom. Just like playing foosball with these guys, kicking them in the pit.
Wiring the kicker. Falcon punch.
And, oh, that's a 6.
Total.
Yeah.
All right. Did you roll advantage?
Oh,
He's
no,
prone.
I didn't.
He's
That's
prone.
a good point. Yeah.
So
That is a 5.
not great. So you
Combine them together.
try kicking him, and just as he's like catching your foot, and it's like pushing him into the ground a little bit as you're trying to do these stomps on him, and it just doesn't quite get him.
Falcon stomp.
It's kind of like you're fighting with him on the ground. Odeon comes up. He kind of regains his balance. Odeon grabs his trident, and he just kind of lets go of the trident and sees you going after this guy and just like trying to stomp on him. And he's like grabbing your foot, like, fuck you. You're barefooted, so it's not like you're like big heavy boots or something.
I
It's
need
just
my shoes.
You just hear slaps.
oh. Odeon left his trident, but he goes up with a 14 and just kicks him across the face. Wait, that was advantage. Yeah, I like the first one better. Nice. All right. So Odeon comes up and just boom, just kicks him, and just says, you just hear this sickening like like he's not dead. He's just like he lets out a
you
groan.
adjusted me. Oh.
He lets out a groan, but it's good. All right. It is now their turn.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to get up and rolls a 1 and slips, holding onto the side. He's almost in the pit.
Somebody step on his fingers quick.
He rolled a 1. I mean, come on. All right, next one. The big guy rolls a 3. Okay. So both of them missed their attacks, but the other one, the big guy's like, you just like disoriented him. He just takes it, tries to swing, but it's just this weak swing. You just easily just sidestep it. Back to you.
All right.
It's not going well for these guys.
No.
They had equal chances you did. Same level.
So after that swing that I dodged, I want to take that arm and go like and just snap it.
Ooh.
And then so I'm gonna.
Using
Man, I'm
your last
using all
key?
my key. I don't want to do fury of blows on this one.
You already 3 key in, aren't you? Didn't you do Step of the Wind?
That doesn't cost me.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay.
I want to just go wham, just snap that arm.
All right.
Good luck trying it out by me. 2 plus 6 is 8.
8 is not a hit. So he sees you trying to grab his arm, and he yanks the trident out and just kind of throws it and just like sidesteps you as you're trying to like grab him. He just like brushes you off. That was your move. Now your turn. Hanging Joe or
Yeah, I'm gonna step on Hanging Joe's hands.
you're just stomping people.
killed Mufasa.
Long live the king.
I've seen that movie.
Most traumatic moment of my childhood.
I know. Oh my gosh. It's like
I rolled a 14.
All right, that's a hit. So you stomp on his hand, and he's gonna make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
He doesn't get it. And you say goodbye as you long live the king, this guy. He falls. No! And it's
I hate your king.
children look away. He gets impaled. It just goes right through him. He's done. He's done. And the other guy sees that, and he immediately gets to his knee. And just like, you see him do this.
Yielding.
You see him do this. Puts his hands up like this. He's not looking at you. What do you do? Everyone's chanting, kill, 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 just over and over in the stadium. Some people are kind of liking what they've been seeing with you three, who barely got injured, who beat the crap out of these veteran guys who've been in here. Volunteers, actually.
So these
We're
guys
not,
kill
we're
for
not
pleasure.
bad guys.
This was
But these guys kill for pleasure.
Well, that's true.
If they're volunteers, or they kill for money.
You are developing your bonds, ideals, flaws right now. I didn't write them ahead of
As
time.
brothers?
As
Two
players
brothers.
right now. Two
Oh.
brothers. Again,
van.
Spanish Armada from space.
I don't know. I feel like if we kill this guy, we look bad.
We're slaves.
That's true. We have been living the slave life. But dang.
you basically, if this were a video game, you'd see mercy, show mercy, no mercy, just like switching back and forth.
I'm gonna look to Caesar.
Yeah, see what he does?
So you see Aron and Ammonius. He's up there and he's just seething. You just kind of see him just like sitting there, just. If you do that right now, Aron's gonna think you're doing that. He's kind of drunk, but you see him just kind of look over, and then he just goes like this, and you don't know what that means. But Odeon picks up the trident and then just goes over to the guy and starts walking. Do you stop him?
Ammonius is doing it?
No. Aron's telling you this, and so you see him walking over. So it seems like a kill order.
I stop him and I say, if we spare you, will you help us in the next fight?
And you see him, and for the first time, you see him just like take off his helmet, and he's a big guy, but he seems like he understands you. You're speaking common. He understands you, but it's very, very broken. And he says, "I am yours."
And I say, Odeon, put that trident to his throat now. And I say, how serious are you?
And with that, roll intimidation.
Nah! 3.
He rolled a 3 too, and he doesn't have a bonus. So goes to the player. He's intimidated by you and says, "By the gods, I will serve you. Spare me."
I say, you are no slave of mine, but if we form this bond, we can work together.
You have made a team. Interesting. I'd like to know what's gonna happen. Yes, and as you do this, he stands up and he bows to you deeply, and the crowd just kind of is
What
quiet.
am I wearing?
Nothing. Just a
Loincloth.
loincloth.
I'm gonna take my loincloth.
Please don't.
I'm not gonna take it off. Like, how much do I have?
Not
just
much. It's like covering your stuff.
What is he wearing?
He's wearing like leather armor.
Does he have cloth at all?
No, he has like cloth around here, but
This
it's mostly
dude's not a slave, right?
he's paid
I-
for this stuff.
I point and I say, tear off a big, like, take off all that cloth off on your armor. And I take it off and I wrap it around his stomach and just tie it
Around his
so he's not bleeding out.
You actually do, as Asimar, have healing hands, which is a healing touch.
Yeah.
You both can use it up to it heals him up to your level. So you're level 3. So if you put your hand on him, it would heal him 3 hit points, and it would close a wound.
Oh, let's do it.
Which I would do also for Odeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you heal him in his face. Just you see it just like he's never been around magic. You
probably
can
like
tell by the
blow up.
expression on his face when you just come up and touch his face, and it just the way yours looks and the way his looks different. So you just like this kind of like this dark blackish thing, and he's just like, oh my gosh, and all of a sudden he just feels this like relief, and you just see it on his face. He's just like amazed, and he just looks at you and just says, he just kind of. What? And then you do it to him, and you just see the wounds heal, and the crowd is confused.
You're like, what?
They've never seen this. One, you're slaves. You have nothing for these guys. You have no reason not to kill them. They're killers. They just come in to kill. They're hired to kill, and they do that. Two, it's never been seen where they form groups with slaves, but that is now done. It's a pact, and it's a blood pact. They see this and they honor it. They're just, as soon as you do this, the crowd erupts, which is excitement. They're they're clapping. People are throwing their sandwiches. They're just like,
Quick, get as many sandwiches as you can. We sell these as slaves for like
So
2 pennies.
Give them food.
They saw a really awesome fight. They saw a really awesome fight, and were expecting to see nothing. You know, they're just like the low tier. You know, they don't expect to see this, and it was a really cool fight. Not only that, you showed mercy when you didn't need to. And at this moment, Amonis, you look up again, and he's gone. And the other Arns up there just like, yay! And
Drunk.
yeah, you defeated day 1 in the arena. Congratulations. As the soldiers come out and kind of push the rest of the bodies into the pit, and then they kind of drag you out. The announcers kind of just, you hear, that was not supposed to happen. But 3 cheers for the heroes that made our citizens even prouder of the prince that died. Yay! And everyone, like, it was a sad day that the prince got killed with his friends. Yeah, he was kind of an idiot, a drunk, but he was also kind of a beloved person, and he got murdered by raiders. You played the prince and his friends and murdered the raiders and spared one to work with you. It almost like rewrote history for these people, and you've gained like a plus 20 fame, and I was going to only add you 10.
Oh,
dang.
So it is going to matter how much you get over time, and I'll explain what you earn. If you continue in the arena, you don't have to, but that is something that they have been like, the people are interested to see you again, and may actually help you in the arena in the future, such as weapons,
Saucer.
armor, things like that. All right. As you exit the arena, at least the arena entrance, like that area, the big circle area, it is very what? Oh, good. We're so good on time.
Good.
And
stop.
are you guys good to keep going?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't see your guys' comments. That's okay. That's fine. You on the replay, comment below. Comment and say good job, guys, because that was amazing. There are people commenting.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I'm gonna read some comments. There's a little. It's stuck. Help.
you can do it
I'll be
this way.
back.
I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna read some comments real quick because I see you guys are commenting, and I feel sad that I haven't done this. Hello, you beautiful nerds. D&D is truly an intellectual game. Gonna chill and listen to this while playing XCOM. Cade Morgan did that song for you today. You're an awesome. He is a patron on Patreon. So he is
Very good.
a very fancy gentleman, and we love him very much. Managed to make it to this while it was still going. Sweet. Hello. I'll be back. I'm back. We're glad you're back.
I was back. I'm back.
All right, so we won't catch all your comments because we are busy, but I will try to do that on occasion, like breaks like that. If you guys are ready, you guys can take a break and get a drink, go to the bathroom if you need to, or are you guys good?
I want to get some Wawa.
I need to drink some.
Could you get me some water too?
I guess.
In the meantime, I'm going to talk to you guys about our characters as we're being.
tips?
Yeah, I'll do whatever you.
This
you
is
bring
not
me.
pee. This is
Don't listen to it with pee.
dehydrated pee.
It's a weird thing to drink. Guys, I just want to say I've read this book 4 times. It's not huge, but I've read it a few times, and I love it. It is worth the buy. I'm obviously not sponsored by them because that's a dream, but not yet. So there are going to be introductions.
What was that picture?
What one?
Was that a woman making love to a bear?
That would be a druid, and no.
Oh, I was like, she is naked.
No, she's not naked.
She's not?
Who are you talking about?
I saw a woman with a bear.
You talking about this
No,
dwarf riding this
he's a
pony?
bear. No, it's a little further. Oh,
That's a man.
Oh, that's a man.
He's like a druid, and he's like the bear is like hanging out with him. Look, they're friends.
this is Winnie the Donk.
So you probably can't see that very well, but he's talking about that.
I saw like it,
He's
like,
wearing a
half
loincloth.
page and I was all
Alright.
"Ooh."
So anyway, the reason why I like the book so much is that it's added so many new classes. The classes that you're seeing right here, they haven't used too much of their class abilities, but there's some awesome stuff that they can do. As I was saying, is I want to add your NPCs, your ideas in it. So you know how we're creating some people online. We've been doing some lives for that. I want you guys to be very interactive. So if you come up with a character that you feel like could fit, now let me do a disclaimer on this. If you are just creating a psychotic, weird character, I might put him in as kind of a fun thing. Most of the time I like kind of, serious, but even some quirks, maybe accent if you want to throw a couple in there, challenge me. I'm not fantastic at accents. I can do Irish pretty fairly and some other ones pretty average. I do them better when I'm alone in my car and not nervous on a live. But I want you guys to feel like you can create characters and be a part of this world. So if you have a particular hero that you want to pass by, if you want us to kill one of your players, give us the stats. As long as they're not terribly high or insane, we might be able to do it. But I want you to feel as if you are part of this world, because if you've seen the actual Word document, not Word document, I don't use Word, Google Doc that is on my Patreon, go check it out. I will put the link in the description or the comments of this video after it's finished. But the actual world is coming together quite nicely. It's like 64 pages long already. I've been working tirelessly on it, day in and day out. That's why I haven't been getting as much songs out, but I luckily got one out today. Go check that one out. That was really cool. Caden, he had a song today for one of his characters, or a very sad story of a character named Asher, but also a very good story, like a really cool one. Anyway, there's a man coming forward. By the way, these lights are fantastic. They're slightly blinding to look at, but they're amazing.
I'm trying not to look above at all.
Sorry, I'm crunching. Is this mine?
Yeah.
What is this?
Thank you.
Don't
All right.
What are you eating?
I was eating a cough drop.
Oh.
Mostly to keep my voice. I talk all day for my job, my first job, and then I do singing, and then now I'm talking. So, thank you, kind sir. I will just keep this right here. Not sponsored. All right. Dr. Pepper, do you want to sponsor some random guys? By the way, we're almost to 400 subscribers, which isn't a ton, but I don't think of it as like a most subscribers wins. I think of it as like this community is growing. 400 people is a lot of people. So I just want to say that's a huge milestone. I honestly didn't know what was going to happen when we started this channel, but it's getting bigger, and we appreciate everyone that does that. So if you haven't subscribed already, you can go ahead and do that. We would appreciate that very much, because it just helps us get known, and I really want to help like grow good awareness of D&D, not like a weird group. Because I mean, like, we're all nerds, but we're also very different types of nerds. Like, I'm obviously like
the cool one.
No, I was gonna say the one with serious problems. Do you see all these books? And then we got like this majorly buff nerd, this guy who does like videos. I mean, you should see the stuff that he's coming up with and that we're gonna put out as soon as I finish one of the songs. Gosh dang it, that time. But we have stuff coming out. So anyway, if we're all prepared, we're going to get back to it.
Let's do it, baby!
Oh boy.
Anyway, so come up with NPCs for us. I'm gonna drink water real fast.
Us come up with NPCs.
Oops.
That's really cold after a cough drop.
Oh, is it from that machine?
Yeah.
It like burns me.
cold.
Well,
Like,
that like the honey, the eucalyptus.
do you Dringles want
I
some
don't
gum in your bum?
Do you
It's
know?
not my mint. I don't know. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, you should.
Yeah. I'm not a gum guy.
It's that like stuff that helps your throat. I mean, my throat's not bad. It's not bad at all. It just helps me talk. All right,
Oh, I'm gonna put that
Back.
right in my throat.
snap back to reality. Oh, yeah, that was an Eminem song. I just realized that.
I would have joined you, but I don't know any lyrics.
Gemini.
Mom's spaghetti on my sweater.
Hands are
Boom, diggity,
sweaty. Yo. All right. Everybody is happy when you get back to the slave quarters. They are looking at you some kind of gods, because you kind of look like gods. You're all cut up.
flex for the crowd.
You're like, "Brrr." You're not huge. I mean, let's make that very clear. You just are normal looking.
frail.
You've been beaten and
We're gonna
malnourished.
be like that guy. Like, I am so awesome.
Oh,
I am amazing.
oh, I love that guy. That's a great man.
I am amazing. Ow. Something hath stabbed thine skin, and I thou shalt not like it.
All right, as you get back to the slave quarters, people are amazed. They look at you and they think, "Don't you read my papers? Minus inspiration for you." I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was looking at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
keep
not.
looking at
I
that
don't
too.
even know what's going on right here.
Oh, good. All right,
Yeah.
so as these people just kind of like, they're not cheering or anything. It's not like this crazy thing, but I mean, people have killed in the arena and come back, and it's not always a huge surprise. But the way you guys did it and came back, the man came back with you to the place.
Oh.
He came to be slaves with us.
Not slave. He just decided to come with you. Currently, he's probably not going to stay. He can come and go as he pleases, but he's with you.
You spared my life.
Oh, yes. I was kind of like, where are my NPCs? All right, here they are. All right, his name is Badru.
Badru.
Badru. And
What a bad.
he doesn't really speak much because he doesn't understand much common. But you see a few people kind of notice him, and he's killed a few of them. Like, not them, obviously they're alive.
Ghosts.
But like, you're all ghosts.
You're dead. You're all dead.
They're zombies.
He'll leave us alone now.
But like, people are a little afraid of him because he was the big guy, right? So it was a little unnerving that this guy's now walking around in their camp, just like he's big. He's not a Goliath, but he's a very tall human, and he's extremely muscular. Not all of it's muscle, some of it's just fat. He's well fed, but he's a bulky tank of a man.
Butts.
To tell you what he is, he's just a straight soldier. He's a fighter class. He's a just typical warrior. All right. And as you're talking with the people, Ammonius, I almost call it Ammodius because I'm thinking Ammodium. Ammonius comes up, and guys, what was the guy's name? Pop quiz.
Which one?
The guy that you just
We're fighting with?
yeah.
It was Badru.
Yep. I'm just helping you remember him.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's me. I'm just helping you. Not me. I didn't forget his name. All right. So they Ammonius comes in, and he's his typical chipper self. When I say chipper, like wood chipper, he wants to murder you guys. But back then it was just carving knives. So he wants to carve your skin off. He's very, very upset. He's just yelling in his language, and he grabs a slave and just starts beating him up, just angry, and just throws him to the ground, just kind of walking around in this. Everyone's kind of like backing away, not knowing what he's going to do next. But he's accompanied with some pretty intense soldiers. But he turns to you and just says, "I vow that you will die in that arena, and it won't be beautiful. It won't be something worth tales. It'll just be insignificant. It'll be quick. You'll just die." And so he leaves, and he just storms out. And he wants to say more. He just doesn't. He's not good with words. He's angry. Yeah, he has a quick temper. You pass the night without any mishaps, but is there anything you'd like to do?
I want to come up. Let's come up with a little.
Do you want
bit of
to
a
talk?
plan.
Do you want to talk with Badru, or do you want to talk with Modion?
I want to talk with
Me?
Modium. Is that his name?
Amodion. No, I'm just
Amodion.
kidding. It's Odion.
Odium.
Amodium. Modius.
Ammo-
Write people's
Ammonia.
names if you need to.
Ammonia?
It's Odion.
Odium.
It's
We could mix him with
Odion.
bleach.
We could make napalm.
Make mustard
Badru.
Badru.
Um,
You got an interesting little team here. You don't know what Odion does.
I want
It wasn't his
to
weapon of
talk
choice.
to Odion and say, like, what the heck, man? Why'd you bring the sword in?
He's like, I didn't. He did.
I wouldn't bring one in. I'm not gonna risk getting myself killed and risk have what just happened. I don't want that to happen.
Why would I hide it in our own cell?
Who would have done that?
How
If
could
not
they?
you.
You are both, forgive the term, freaks of nature. Clearly there's something odd about you. Perhaps one of the slaves that knew we worked in the smithy. Have you made any enemies?
I just do my work.
What about you?
We're told not to talk to anybody or
Nobody
anything.
here likes us.
So, Badr looks over. You enemies. He looks at Odion, just talking to him, and he says, he's asking what kind of enemies have we made since we've been here. The camp's particular full of angry slaves, as you've seen. You're the only one that really knows that.
Yeah.
Odion, and he hates everyone. He's just like, that's why he doesn't talk to you. It's been a year, and this is the most he's said to you. A year and a half, and he's like finally talking to you.
I'm like, oh.
He's asking what.
Yeah, he says
what
like, have you
enemies?
guys, have you seen anyone looking at you? You can roll history, perception, insight, whatever you feel like you get the best
Well,
out of.
I mean, I guess I could roll history 17 plus whatever. I'm sure that's decent, but yeah, 17.
Okay, you haven't noticed, and you are the most clear, so this would make sense that you rolled as high as you did. You've seen people look at you. They've seen people most out of fear, not out of like hate. Most people respect you guys enough to not do anything to you. They've seen you guys take probably the most of the whipping and beatings and the starvation and things like that. You get enough sleep so you're not technically exhausted, but you're at the point is if you got even half a rest, you'd take like an exhaustion too. Like you'd be pretty messed up. But you haven't seen anyone in particular of the slaves. You haven't noticed anyone around your area, but you work all day. It could be anyone. It could be a guard. It could be. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I bet it's Ammonius because he wants us to die so bad. He's been so keen on us dying the whole time since we got here.
You did insult him and make him look stupid in front of the.
I think he's out
That
to get
was
us.
that was after he was already trying to kill us. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's a mystery. You don't know at this moment what it could be and who it could be, or if it was anyone, or if it was already just there. But someone tipped him off about something, so it's clear. It just takes a simple mind to figure out that someone planted that. If it wasn't Odeon, it wasn't you guys, then someone put it there. And guards just show up in full force. It seems a little sketchy. Badger tries to explain that he doesn't have much to talk with the slaves. He's killed a lot of slaves. So he's not really good at what you're talking about. He's not a very intelligent man. He just kills very well.
I have, however, noticed, brother, that you have been acting differently.
I've been acting differently.
Yeah, like you're not.
I told you, you're under a spell.
Oh,
Roll a.
that's right.
I want you to
But
roll.
why would that be?
Now you get a chance to roll another wisdom saving throw. No, please.
A 20.
Holy. All right, so I'm gonna say you kind of did like a healing touch type thing, except like you kind of have a bond. So you like touch the side of his head, and it's almost like you shared like a quick memory, and it aided him in his thinking, and it just suddenly like his eyes, like it's almost like as if they were fogged over, just suddenly just became super clear, like crystal blue, and he finally sees it, and you realize now that there is kind of a fog around everybody, and the only one that doesn't have it was him, and so now you finally snap out of it.
I can see. Okay. Where?
But what is the fog?
What is this fog, and where is it coming from?
I told you, they have a fog
Odeon's
machine
like,
over
you
there.
both are insane. And Badger says, I agree, they're both crazy. In his way of speaking.
Maybe we could heal these two. Could we heal their minds?
You've already used your healing for the day.
Oh,
True.
okay.
It's true.
I would say it doesn't technically heal the mind, but if someone took psychic damage, you can still heal them for the points. So I'm going to say if they're both full health and you try to do this on them, you might give them advantage on the roll.
I'm
I'll
gonna
just say
roll
that.
perception where the fog is
That's
coming
what
from
I was
really
thinking
fast.
too. Yeah.
I wanna know.
Well, I
'Cause
could
you
I could
know.
tell you. I could tell you
Okay.
where it's coming from.
I'm just gonna say out loud, where is this coming from? Where is the
Over
fog?
there. That spot.
Oh, glob. Do you think we could block it up? Is there anything in here that we could use to
Is
stuff?
it like
So,
a hole in
As
the
you
wall?
you
or-
kind of like, you don't want to draw too much attention. If the two people that just won the arena just start like,
Yeah.
it's going to be a little obvious and strange what you're doing. So I want you to roll kind of a stealth, just not like you're like sneaking, but
Oh, I hit myself.
like you're not making it terribly, obvious.
9.
12.
All right, so between you two, yeah, you guys are okay. At least one of you is. People are kind of watching you. They wouldn't not be watching you. You always just go to your cell and just kind of sit there and talk amongst yourselves. You've never really explored the slave quarter. As you're walking, it's a long, long way, and you see where it's kind of building up. You've never ventured over there. It kind of makes you uneasy. Something about it is odd. You don't typically know much about it, but as you're walking, you see they have a makeshift bar. Which is basically just like a swill, like this terrible something to get you drunk. It's something that they've earned with like it's almost like points from the arena, like or throughout your day. It's almost like these little like these little like stone tabs that they would like hand you, and like you haven't earned anything like that. You haven't tried to earn anything like that, but they're like rocks with numbers on them. You don't know what the numbers are because it's a different language, like just symbols. But as you're walking further down, you do see kind of people training, like sparring with each other. You see some people exercising with rocks and stones and stuff like that, trying to bulk up or something, keep fit, whatever they're doing. But as you get further down, you see, and I want you to roll perception on this.
Oh, God.
You may or may not see everything that
Throwing my die right at me. 16.
15.
Oh, never mind, 19.
Okay, so you notice it first, but you also see this. The people that are in these areas have kind of nicer tents. They don't have like so much. Like this is kind of a nicer area of it. But you do see that the people are all sleeping. It's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and they're all just laying down sleeping. Just very lethargic part of the area, just very tired. But you get to the very end and you see where it's coming from. There's a grate. It's not like a metal grate, but it's like stone that was like originally meant for something else that wasn't completed. It looks like it's kind of an abandoned portion. No one's setting up their area. No one's doing anything over here. Excuse me. And as you kind of look closer at it, you see that it does drop down a long way. But it's dark, but the sun's in a kind of location that it kind of shines through in a portion, which kind of illuminates since it's sandstone. It's pretty deep.
Deep. Okay, well, what like could we plug it if we wanted to? Could we put something over it?
You could try to do that.
Is the grate removable?
Definitely not.
It's like stone.
Yeah, it's stone. It's like it's kind of the way I describe it is like a grate, but it's basically slits in the sandstone.
Okay.
It looks carved though. It doesn't look like it's like a natural formation.
Is there cloth nearby? Is there like something?
Or
are there boxes?
Well, there's tents.
Is it breakable?
Well, I'm sure it's sandstone.
Yeah, that's what
You'd have to. It would be loud, and you'd be banging around, and guards and slaves are looking. So I mean, it would be.
I'm just curious. I'm not thinking of doing it right now.
I'm just saying, but it is something you could do. I'm saying that because I know what you're thinking. Like not now, but yeah, you definitely could break through this.
Yeah.
It would be loud if you did it over time. Someone else might find it. You have options in the future to think about what you want to do, but
we should keep an eye on this. See if people come around, observe it. Guards, if they're around it at all.
Well, I wonder if there's something that we could do right now, at least. Like, are there boxes?
Without getting caught.
There are no boxes.
or
but
things
like I said, there are like little tents. They're nothing fancy. But you might be able to take some off the side or something like that. You don't have anything sharp.
If this is something the guards are watching, they might be suspicious that something covered it up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's true.
Right now, you guys are no longer under whatever strange spell this was. Or some kind of effect, maybe not a spell, but something that's affecting the group. You're no longer under this influence. Odion's not with you, and Badru is no longer. He's no longer with you guys. He actually took off for the day. He said he'd come back tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, you see that it's definitely something that you could deal with in the future somehow. You don't know if just covering it up with a cloth would help because you have no idea. If it's magic, why wouldn't it just go through? Mm-hmm. If it is some kind of gas, that would help, but you don't know what it is at this moment. That's Baxter. Doesn't he look like Baxter?
James Baxter.
All right. And is there anything else that you're doing for the day, or are you just kind of staring at this hole?
Oh.
You guys are just.
Oh my gosh.
That's a hole right there.
Well, I say we just go back so we don't bring in too much of attention because we are kind of the point of attention.
So I want you to kind of roll deception and tell me how you're playing this off, because people are kind of watching you. Your stealth wasn't tremendous. So tell me how you are with your role, how you're trying to play this off, like you're not looking at this hole.
I just want to.
It's unlikely that everyone hasn't seen this. You're not in a huge area. People have wandered. People have probably seen these holes and thought, I can get through there.
I'm gonna walk and like.
This could have been carved by a slave that ended up getting killed before he could finish. You don't know. It's sure enough, people have seen it. So what did you roll?
I rolled an 8. I'm just
9.
kind of
Okay. So what
like
do you guys?
kind of moving, unkinking as we're walking and going
I
toward.
want to feign like I'm asking him about the masonry, how he thinks it was carved.
Okay. So as you're walking
'Cause
back,
that's kind of his job.
as you're
now,
walking
right?
past some slaves
Isn't
back
that
to
your
the
job?
place.
What's your job?
Smithing.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'm asking you about it anyway.
Smithing. So you know about hammers.
How do you think this was carved?
So you're kind of talking about it, and you see one is like as you're passing one of the thing, you hear someone.
Is that a mouse?
So
I think
you
I heard a bird or something.
so you hear it clearly, and there's a guy in the tent. He's just you don't have to. I'm just saying that's what's going on.
I'm gonna go over.
What
and be
would
like,
your characters do at this moment? What would they be doing?
I'd be like, oh, okay. Hello? What?
And so he's like, come. It's not a big tent. It's gonna be a title like, what are we doing in here?
Wait, I'm gonna go. Okay.
I wanna kind of check him out, just like
Yeah. Roll insight on this guy. See what he's up to. What does he look like he's doing?
yeah. That's 6.
I'll roll it too.
I imagine you both would be a little bit like.
I got a 17.
Who's this guy? All right, so you both see him very clearly. It's not like terribly dark in there or anything. He's got a huge scar going across like deep. It's like it didn't form right, like it didn't finish healing right, and it's just his eye's missing. It's going all the way down, and it clearly it wasn't like too long ago.
Messed
It was
up.
like at least like 4 or 5 months ago that he took this massive strike to the face. But he invites you in, and he's just scraggled. He looks messed up. They shave you guys frequently. For some reason, they haven't touched you guys. They're nervous. Like the guy that comes in is like, no, your hair is back.
Oh.
It's been like a year.
Oh,
and a
yeah,
half.
that's true.
It wouldn't be. I mean, your hair is. You guys trim it as you go, but the best you can with like rocks and stuff. But
Oh, man.
this is
Oh,
kind
I
of
work-
working.
Bang it.
I work in a smithing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said,
see
you
Yeah,
guys,
that's nice.
you do your thing.
Leather working, I'd have.
You'd have
Nice.
access to
You'd
tanning.
cut it
knives.
with leather.
So you guys are in there like, no one's watching. I better do my hair.
You look so pretty
Anyway,
today.
I mean, in movies and stuff like that, it's just like everything just is this way all the time.
Yep.
Naturally.
I never go to the bathroom, shave, or do anything.
Ever.
But anyway, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Slack on the job, cut your hair, whatever. No judgment. Anyway, so you walk into this place and, crouch, squeeze into this place, and this man's just like, what were you doing over by the hole?
Well, we just kind of noticed it. Why is there just a hole?
We were.
No. You didn't just notice it. You walked to it.
We felt the draft.
Outside?
I
Roll
mean,
deception.
The draft kind of came through.
You're outside. You feel drafts all the time. He's just like, I'm not stupid. You don't see the sky above you. And he's like, well, this is a tent. Look out there.
I'm gonna say why. What's your interest?
What's your interest?
I asked first.
I asked second.
I just go.
He clearly doesn't want to give anything, but he wants to know.
You've never looked at the hole?
Oh, we've all looked at the hole. We've always wondered what's down there.
Same with us. We're wondering.
We were told
we're
there were
curious.
riches.
Roll deception.
Yeah, I think I won that. Unless he rolled a 20. 22? Oh, no.
I was like, I wonder what you rolled, but you're like, I won that. I'm like, unless you rolled a 20, you
Oh,
didn't.
that's right.
So he sits there and he's like, there are riches down there.
Oh.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because I used to be a fisherman, and I have a line. and I dragged it down there, and I pulled up a goblet. Well, I pulled it up, and it couldn't fit, and it fell back down. Made a lot of noise. I got in trouble, and that's how I got this.
Oh, man. Don't be
I
fishing.
saw too much. They took an eye. They're very literal here.
I can imagine so. And I can see it.
And this hurts very badly still.
Oh, man. Well, that sucks, man.
An eye for looking.
An eye for an eye.
If there's gold down there, why haven't they brought it up?
Could be a storage.
Under the prison area? What's down there? What's in the temple? Have you been in the temple?
No.
Is the temple down there?
He
Could
said
be
the
an-
temple's
could
the
be an
temple is
underchamber.
the temple is next to you.
Oh.
So he said it's likely that there's underneath the temple. He's like, this temple has been standing since time immemorial. Before the people even settled here, this has been here. We've been building it up, maintaining it, making it nice, changing it for different gods. You can see as you're talking to him, this guy's an elf. Elves typically live 700 years.
Oh, man. I was about to say, I was like, how
He's
does he
been
know
here
that?
for about 300 years. And he says to
my
you, he
gosh.
says, you know, he made the mistake of finally letting curiosity get the best of him. He's like, I've been alive a long time. I've seen a lot of things. But you two seem to have noticed something that I have noticed.
That there's treasure down there.
More than that, you see the smoke also?
Yes.
Okay, so you tell him that. All right, so he says, well, you and me both. I'm the only one that, and I've talked to others, and they beat me, they call me crazy, they say, yeah, I've been in the sun too long, and I have. I'm a wood elf.
I have!
So he's furious, but he does finally see people that see that there's something wrong with this. He's been waiting for so long. You seem like shaking. He's like so excited. He's just
300
like
years.
He's like, okay, so no one can know because they won't believe you, but it makes us crazy. It makes us crazy. They're trying to make us crazy. They're doing this. They've got to be doing this. And I live here. I've been here for the longest. I get the nicest place. What, you want it? You can't have it. I have it. And he said, now that hole doesn't just come, smoke doesn't just come out. I hear noises. There's things down there. Chanting, loud screams, but no one hears it. No one hears it. I wake up my friend, he slaps me, tries to kill me, but no one hears me, no one believes me. So he either is hearing voices or he is actually saying that. I want you to roll insight to see if he's actually sun damaged. Oh, nice.
Oh, baby.
16. Oh, you got a 20.
You see
You've
that
been
he
burnt.
100% believes this, and he's not trying to trick you into anything.
I was about
You
to
see
say,
straight through him, like almost like you know his soul. It's almost like you saw glimpses as you kind of looked into him, like.
oh, man, you've seen some shiz.
Yeah, he's for sure that there is something down there. He's heard these noises, and there is gold down there of some sort. But why? You know, if it's a temple, that makes sense. If it's not the temple, what is down there? Anyway,
Yes.
he looks at you and he just says, "We can't talk much about it now. I'm sure people have already noticed us huddling in a tent. We need to separate now,
Okay.
because guards they do not like us cowering in
out.
corners talking. You can talk to me, just spread it out. If you need to talk to me, don't just leave. Go."
Okay.
And he like pushes you out of the tent, and then he yells at you and says something in Elvish. None of you speak it, and he just
Oh, just to play the part.
yeah. He looks pretty convincing. He looks pretty angry, and some of the people laugh and just be like, "Yeah, try talking to that crazy man." And that's it. Is there anything else you want to do?
I don't think so.
He didn't tell you his name,
Let's just go back.
but you do know he's pretty easy to spot. There's
Yeah,
at
something right
least 1,000 of you smashed into this like huge corridor. By the way, just giving you a little bit of a perspective of how big this place is.
Wow.
So
A lot
I
of
mean, there's
slaves.
cage after cage after cage all along the stone temple area. It's kind of multi-layered. Some parts, not your area, luckily, because people on the bottom, they get the worst.
math.
being in a cage underneath people in cages.
What time of day is
It's like
it?
gerbil situation. It's
Newspaper.
it's evening. Yeah, you are their newspaper.
It's like evening. Like we're talking like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 6 or 7. The sun is no longer right above you. It's gone past the temple, so you don't have any daylight on you, but you still see like the beginnings of a twilight.
I don't know. You think we should sleep?
You just
fought.
fought some major battles. You do wake up early as a slave, by the way. So
Let's go to sleep.
Recover.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
yeah, you want your health back.
I want my health. I didn't get hit.
You didn't?
I don't think so. I don't think I got hit at all.
Oh, right. You got hit when we were in the cage a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago.
I thought that was today.
It's all just one big day for me.
Yeah, this has been crazy.
That darn smoke.
It's really messing with our brains. All right, so we're gonna go for a little bit while longer, and then we'll be done for the night. But yeah, I know I could keep going and keep
Oh
going.
man.
I've created so much for you guys, so let's see what happens. All right, the next day comes, and you are awoked. You get woken up, man. The guy comes up and starts poking your cage, just like slamming into the cage. A guard, not just
Don't.
some guy. Stop it. Hey, dude. And then he says, "Wake up in there. Stand up. Show your hands." And he doesn't trust you guys because you guys had a sword in your cage. So he has you walk out with your hands out, and he looks different than the guards that are typically around. A little bit more like upright, like noble looking, and he says, "Come with me."
Okay. Well, do all three of us or just us two?
All three of you.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
And
Yeah.
as you start walking towards a different direction you've ever been, you are walking up. It's not towards the arena. It's actually up towards this beautiful like villa-looking area. It's like really ornate with vines going up the side of it. It's clearly some kind of capitol building / mayor's house. You know what I mean? As you walk up these nice white marble steps, you see a man standing at the top in very fine robes. And as you start getting closer, and the guard just goes, "Oh, I almost forgot." And then he claps his hands, and some some servants run up, and they put some robes over you, some like nice looking ish robes. The feeling of nice cloth on you after just a year and a half of just sackcloth, like it's like this. It feels so unnatural now. Like it's just like,
whoa.
Like okay,
Feels like I'm wearing a dead cat.
you enjoy it, but also
Whoa,
are
that's
afraid.
weird.
Like it makes you uneasy. But anyway, he gets you up the steps. He's like, "I can't have you appear before him, dressed the way you are." You get to the top,
Thank you.
and this man is sitting there. He's holding a staff, and it has a serpent on it, and the serpent goes all the way around, all the way to the bottom. It's it's engraven, and it's kind of like an ivory. It's like a beautiful staff, and he's finely dressed in like purple robes with like gold inlay. He's very, very well kept, and he's sitting on like a throne type thing that people are holding. They could put him down, but they're holding him up.
He demands to be held.
Yeah, and he's sitting on it, and he clearly is capable of walking. He announces himself and says, "My name is Serdaf, and I don't think we know your names.
Oh.
I saw you yesterday by chance in the arena. I was actually nearby speaking to Aran, and he told me that I must see you fight. And then even though it was a low circumstance, I came in disguise. The people love you. Who are you?"
My name is Cry.
And then he turns to you,
We're in.
and then he says, "And what about you?" And Odeon he bows deeply and says, "Odeon, your Majesty." And this is not the king of the realm, so for him to call him Majesty, you think that's a little strange, but he takes it and he enjoys it very much. He's like, he smiles, and then brought forward behind you, coming up the steps, you hear this big clunking person, and you immediately know who it is. Badger comes up the steps, being escorted by a guard, and he says, "You four, I have something special for you today. There was a battle that was lost, and I want it rewritten for the people. And we've prepared something extra special for today. If you should win, I have something special for you. Not freedom, for you are not to be free. I enjoy you too much. You will die in the arena, and that is a honor for people like you. To jump from the way you fought to today, there will be no more mercy. That makes us look bad. However, you may choose to be swift in your killing, if that should please you. If you choose to kill them brutally and make it very interesting for the crowd, that's your dealing. That's not mine." And he then turns to one of his henchmen, kind of standing on the side. Ammonius is nowhere to be seen. He's probably not in the standings of this command. But he turns to the man and says, "Is everything in order?" And he says, "Yes, sire." And he says, "Okay. Today I'm not letting you fight in rags. Today you will be dressed like true warriors of El Jadra." And so they direct you off, and he just says, "May you die honorably." And he just he waves you off, and they carry him back towards the place. But you hear him say something about the arena, so he's going to be there. So as you are going, you're kind of just being led to it. You can speak to any of the other people around you. You can do whatever you want. But do remember what they said about you speaking to citizens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Just remembering, like, they will hurt you.
Don't hurt me.
Badger's with you, and Odeon, who's been seeing these type of things for a long time.
Badger's like, "Man, I already get armor as it is."
Yeah, I want to ask Odeon, who's this guy?
He's like, "Well, Serdov is not the king, but he wants to be." I know this because the man that used to work for him used to inhabit the cage that we live in currently before you. He was his right-hand man. He made some mistakes and told some people some wrong things. They cut his tongue out, but he spelled out in the sand for many, many days intricate details about this man that was quite unnerving. I'm sure you've heard some of the people gossip about this city and its nature, as it were. You kind of have heard through your year and a half here is that the people are kind of afraid of the temple and those that lead the whole thing, because there are disappearances by the hundreds. On every month there's at least 100 people missing, which is unnerving and strange. And most people, and it's not just high, it's not the nobles. None of the nobles ever go missing. In fact, they look very, very happy. But it's the low income areas, the slaves, people disappear all the time. They bring in slaves, by the way, by shipments from neighboring places every single day. And a lot of them, they don't just get killed, they just get taken somewhere. So you've seen firsthand people disappear, you just don't know where they go. Anyway, so as you're walking, that's kind of what Odeon is explaining to you. You get to the steps of the arena, and do you think we have time for one more?
Yes, please. Unless you want to go to bed.
Oh, I'm good. I don't have.
I am
anymore,
excited.
so.
I want to.
I do, but I don't need sleep because I sleep like 4 or 5 hours a night because I'm weird. All right,
because I'm a weird.
Let's get started. All right, so day 2 of the arena. As you enter in, it's a little bit of a nicer area that they put you in. It feels like the other side that you were. But it's higher up. You had to climb a lot of stairs, like 3 or 4 flights of stairs.
Well, at least I'm warmed up.
They get you to where your kind of staging area is. You see the gate. You smell like salty smell, like as you enter this area, and it's kind of like there's lavender put into like sconces on the walls. It's It's got like purple draperies. It's really nice. Like, you've been in squalor, and now you're put into an area that's really nice. There's actually fruit laid out for you guys. It looks very, very nice. There's a cup of wine each just sitting out on a table prepared for you. There's a servant person with a painted face just standing there, not moving, just like totally quiet. There are some guards, but they don't look as menacing as the other ones. They're definitely people that you probably couldn't handle, but they're not as like, we hate everything. You know, these guys are like, we station a nicer area.
Right.
We're a little bit above the rest. Anyway, that's what you see.
I'm gonna take some lavender and just kind of.
Probably reek. Yeah.
I haven't smelled good in a long time, so I'm gonna rub my pits. Just kind of rub it on me.
So,
and just
for the first time, you roll perception.
Okay. Don't mind if I do.
19.
It's a 19. So you actually are the only one that notices this. The slave actually, you just see kind of like a smirk go up, just this like the side of their face, just like awesome.
No, he doesn't stink anymore.
All right, so you see Badger go over and just start helping himself. Drinks a cup of wine, grabs some grapes, and like twigs and all, just starts just like shoving it in and like eating it all. You're just like, okay.
I wouldn't eat those twigs, but
Yeah,
alright.
I'm gonna eat some of the fruit.
I'm not gonna drink any wine, that's for sure. But I'll have. Are there bananas? I will have banana for potassium and carbs, so I have energy for the battle.
And now the warrior workout.
Try the nutritionist.
I must. So I'll have that.
Well, he is a monk. I mean, he would like
I
be
guess.
very like in tune with what makes his body work like very well.
And I will also have. Is there water?
I mean, not really. I mean, there's like a flask, but it looks like it's just for wine. You could ask maybe.
I'm not gonna call this servant a servant. I'm just gonna be like, hey, is there water? May I please have water?
We don't have water up here. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Okay. Then I will squeeze an orange into my mouth.
All right, you drink from the orange, and it's the sweetest thing you've ever. It feels just amazing because you've been eating just
Poop.
whatever they throw at you. I mean, it's not great.
Oh, God.
So you eat fruit, and it's just like nectar of the gods. Like, it's amazing.
I don't want to get too full, though.
But with that, just then you hear some voices start going, and you know it's time. There are some weapon racks. Go ahead and roll perception on your weapon racks and see what you got.
Dang it. 3 plus 6.
17.
All right. Okay, so what you see is a very strange looking spear. It's very long, and it's got like this long type curved blade to the top of it that's like jagged at the end.
I know what that is.
You would. All right, and that's just really all there is on your rack. They just kind of place that before you.
Okay.
17.
17.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you have not just a weapon, but you actually see there's some like leather armor that's not just like straps. It's kind of like a skirt type thing, like Roman style. You've got some like carved in the leatherwork, and actually you recognize this as something you've created.
Okay.
It's actually one of the things you've created. It was very nice.
Oh.
It's got like you've carved like the abs and the chest. You know how like
Nipples.
it's all. Yeah. You went a little overboard. Apparently, there's nipples on it.
It's like Batman's armor.
Right.
The Clooney armor.
Clooney, yeah. And you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, that's mine. You know it's well made because you've been doing this for a while. It will give you a bonus to your AC and put you up to about 14.
I will wear it.
As well as, and when it comes to weapons, with your high roll, you actually have a slew of weapons, the best of which looks like a spear.
Then I will have it.
I'm going to take mine,
You're not
too.
going to take the little teeny smorgasbord of weapons? I want all of those little ones. The spear looks good. I mean, the rest don't look... I mean, they don't look bad. Like, there's a sword, there's... they look kind of... like they were set up to break.
Those bastards. I didn't make that sword. I'll tell you
Take
that.
the spear.
I'm gonna
And
take that my spear as
Because
well.
of your role, you are a little confused at why those look very weak.
Like they want us to die.
Like that someone wanted you to pick your preferred weapon to be broken.
Or like a dagger, because that's what I used last time.
All right, so you pick up the spear and then you hear a slave shout, and then they basically say no, like from one of the where you guys are at.
Shout, let it all.
All right, they open the gates for you, and some guards come from behind and start moving you forward, just like before. Not as aggressive, but moving you forward. And this time, you're not just being led out to arena. There's a wooden ramp that goes downward as you enter, and it's kind of blinding as you get out there because it's very bright. But you're not at the bottom of the arena. There's water.
Oh, that's the salt was.
And as you step forward, you hear gulls kind of going around above, and you see two triremes. They're two boats that are like long, and they have those like curved, and they have the painted faces kind of on the front of them.
Age of Empires.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to remember it.
Man.
And you see two. They're putting you on one of them.
How much water are we talking here?
I told you this arena is
filled
very
it?
big. They filled it pretty big. It's the top levels, and the nobles are here. So normally they have just if it's a normal size arena when they're just fighting, they have the whole thing filled. They have the lower section for like the people that can get blood splatter, can get possible arrows. You know what I mean? Like, but they put higher up. That's kind of like a tiered, and it like goes up above a little bit, so they get a good downward view.
Poncho row, you might get covered in brain matter.
Yeah. You might get wet with matter. All right, so the announcer starts to talk. Welcome, nobles and ladies. Today, by request of Serdaf himself, our beloved ruler, the Eye of El Jadra, that we bring you another tragedy of our people, the loss against the Northerners in the Snake Cove, where they boarded our General Agden and assassinated him. Let us see the end of our new heroes in Agden, played by Weirin. Yeah, is Weirin? Weirin. So I didn't want to pronounce it wrong. So. Weirin! And with that, you're just like, yes. Okay, I am Agden. Yeah. Let us see the end of our new heroes and show you the history of the tragedy. Begin! And as soon as you enter, you step down, and the ramp behind you is pulled back, and it just splashes into the water, and the water actually begins to move as if you're on like an ocean, and you just see some mages above like waving some staffs. They're actually controlling this, and just as you're doing this, a storm rolls in over the top of the arena, and the people are covered, like the top layers are covered, so the rain just like hits and just rolls off, and it's kind of like little waterfalls surrounding all the way around, and it's beautiful. Like it's incredible the way they set this up. It feels like you're on the ocean, and to you, they've created the atmosphere around you to look like you are no longer in an arena, and the whole area is like an illusion. So it looks like you are now in an actual naval battle with this other group. You do see that there were soldiers already on your boat, and they're getting ready with arrows. They're already getting ready to grab hooks.
Oh, okay.
There's 6 of them, and you see the other team getting ready over.
Are there sails?
There are sails. This arena is not so big that you could sail out. It's just basically circling each other.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of it's not a tight fit. They made these kind of smaller, not like huge, because triremes are loaded with slaves below on oars that are rowing. The top is where the fighters are doing their business, and the drummers and the people archers. You are basically set up to get assassinated by this group of. They're not in just like
we're
a normal.
Set up to be killed.
Oh yeah, that's what they announced, that you died in the battle. So these guys have more, and they look better armored, and they are not dressed in El Jadra type armor. They're dressed in northern armor, which is armor. So it's they look pretty tough. and it's kind of the storm is kind of crackling. You hear occasional. I mean, it feels good to be wet, just like the rain coming down on you. You are from the northeast, which is basically always stormy, so you guys are used to this, and it's like your element. So this is something you will be comfortable in.
Bring it.
All right. So as it begins, you hear, you see a drummer, like on your boat, just boom, 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 and you see actually oars come out and people are rowing down beneath. So there are slaves that have been set up for this battle, just like you, but they're not to fight. They're basically just to control.
I start a.
So you start doing it, and some soldiers around you just kind of. I want you to roll performance.
Performance. That's new. 9.
You're not a bard. You're rarely doing something like this. All right. So when you do this, a couple guys around you just kind of feel like, yeah. So they start slamming their spears into the ground, and you guys are woefully armed for this. Like you aren't wearing any armor.
Yeah, I was like.
And you know you've got some decent armor, but you have better armor than everyone else because you're the general. It was all depending on the roll, and you got the highest.
The general.
And let's see here. So, all right. So, what are you planning on doing? You guys, they are kind of going to listen to you as you are in that position, but since you're kind of his right-hand man in this situation, you can have say as well. All right. What you do in the battle is very
Crucial.
scary. I'm not saying that, and I will be 100% on you as a DM. You probably will lose this. Just like I'm talking about skill level versus AC and everything. This isn't set up for you to win. I'm not that kind of DM where I'm like, everything's easy. You could easily die in this. Like, and I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying things will happen where it's just like, all right, you know. I don't think I'll just kill you. I'm just going to tell you right now. But this could be very bad for you. So have a great time. Do what you want to do. You don't have a lot of time to decide.
We have 6 soldiers and 2 ballista. Soldiers are equipped with
spears and swords.
So we all have spears.
So
Can we see what they have at all, or?
Roll perception. It's kind of like with the rain and everything. It's not great to see them.
Nope. 15.
Okay, so you kind of catch a better glimpse of it. You see some with like bastard swords, like big ones, and you see a couple crossbow men over there. But through it all, you can't see too much. But you do see there is a man in a cloak.
Oh, they got a mage.
So, all right.
Okay.
You kind of are starting to circle. They're coming this way. You're going the opposite direction.
Do we have walls that people can be behind if they're firing?
Walls-ish. So near the back, there's kind of like a slight wooden wall, and then near the front, there's kind of a slight wooden wall. But most of it is open.
All right.
You do have a center mast, which has the one sail, and then the rest of it's just controlled by the oars.
I want to command the soldiers to basically get out of shot, so that they're not going to get killed by the crossbow dudes. I am going to assume that you told me what you saw.
Yes. yes. I tell you what I saw.
What's your LFIC?
And then I'm going to put 2 guys on the ballista. Maybe it could be you and me, and we aim at the mage.
Yeah. That would be a good, because man, having that guy hurl things at us while they have ballistas as well.
Yeah.
Piss. Well, we gotta have something that can take out the ballista as well, because that could damage our ship
They
bad.
have ballista?
I think they do.
They do.
Worst case scenario, we get on their ship.
Yeah. I'd say that one of us aims at the mage and one of us aims at the actual ship to try and sink it, to try and do whatever we can to just like, boom, you got something going on here and something going on here.
All right,
so
make
it's
your
like,
commands.
Oh shoot!
People are looking at you right now.
What are you
They're just
thinking?
like,
What are you thinking?
They're waiting for commands, and
That
everyone's
doesn't
kind of
sound
like
good to you.
getting nervous because no one's saying anything. You're just kind of talking, like, what do we do? What do we do?
Right.
But I'm just going to try to make as much real time as I can.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm going to give you some talking.
Let's aim one at their ballista and one at their mage, and that way, if the ballista one misses, it might still at least hit the ship.
Okay, let's order it right now. Boom.
All right, so you say that to them, and immediately They start shouting in different language. Odeon is actually giving the command
Oh,
because
okay.
he speaks the language, and Badru is right behind him. And Badru's actually picked up a longbow that he has found, and like that he's purchased.
Okay.
Should give that
Like
to
he
you.
specifically was set up,
Oh.
and so he grabs the bow and knocks a big arrow, like it's thick, and you just
This'll be
you see the muscle strain as he's yanking this thing back, and he lets out and it just zings too far. He wasn't quite familiar, and but that thing, you heard that twang. That is a powerful bow, and it shook his arm, and he has like a thick, like 19-inch bicep arm, like, and so like this thing just kind of shook his arm, and it just shoots past the guy, and the guy ducks, and it just like it tears through some ropes on the other side, doesn't hit anyone, but he's getting ready to knock another arrow, and
I say, good
the
job,
guy at the
Badger.
ballista is pulling it back, cranking it back all the way, and they load this huge like spear, and they put it on top of it. And the guy's aiming it, and where do you want him to shoot first?
Mage.
All right, so
Or robed man, whatever.
he's
he
gonna
is.
roll perception.
Okay.
Whoop. Let's roll that again. He does not see the mage clearly, but he sees just a clutter of just people. It's
Okay.
getting in his eyes. He's just trying to do his best. He's got like a little strap armor. Everyone has helmets, except you guys. he has a helmet that's got the classic like. Hoplite, like, you know what I'm saying, like think Spartans if you don't remember. He does get a good aim on somebody he thinks is the mage, and he just releases. He hits the guy dead on, causing 1 damage. So what he does, I mean, it was a good hit. It just knocked him down. But like his armor is thick. It like embedded itself in
good
his
armor.
shoulder,
Oh
but it like
gosh.
knocked him like flat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be down for like 2 rounds. Like it was a
Oh,
big hit,
man,
you know.
that would mess you up.
Oh yeah. His arm is probably currently going to be done. Like he can't move his armor; it's like broken.
Yeah.
Like with a 1, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But a ballista, you know, the
Yeah.
force damage alone knocked him flat.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, dude, that would like
It did hurt
Break
him,
something.
other than
fly. It would like fly
other than
through
the
you if you weren't wearing it.
actual piercing damage, but the actual force damage did more damage to him. All right.
Jeez.
All right. So there's one more.
Let's shoot
You
it.
guys got initiative first because you guys shouted your orders first. The other guys were getting ready.
Well, the other guy's command was to shoot at one of their ballista.
Okay. So he's looking. 3 for
Jeez.
both perceptions. He does see stuff going on over there. He thinks he knows where ballista is based off of his, so he's going to do the best he can. And then
Yeah.
rolls a 1.
Ah,
Oh, Baxter.
What's he doing?
did he
Oh,
beef it?
Whoa.
You farting?
Wasn't me.
Oh, he beefed
You
it.
farting?
Anyway, the heat of the battle scared him. All right, a 1. So the ballista snaps and breaks immediately. Like he yanks it just a little bit too far. He places it off center, and it just kind of the way that it takes off out of it, it doesn't take off straight, and it kind of pulls on it and just cracks the thing in half, and it just snaps, and the guy falls backwards. Those ones, man.
Woo!
All right, their turn.
Butts.
They look for you. They take a shot and just miss. You guys are all 12 and up. So the second one looks. He sees you, not you, but he sees your
Shoot.
boat, and he just hits below the ballista. He's trying to take out the other one. It just missed, and your turn again for the ballistas. You guys are getting closer. Sorry, Badru has a bow. He sees a guy. And he
man.
misses again. He's getting familiar with this bow, and he just launches another one. It's definitely making people nervous. That thing's like, but now they have crossbows. They're prepared. They look.
I really gotta pee. Really.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. And I dropped my D20, so we're just gonna look for that for a second. All right, let's check the chat, shall we? Nothing right now. Good.
Oh, good. Good.
I don't know why we're talking like that. Also, I'm going to be making another evil NPC, so stay tuned for that, because not tonight, obviously, but probably tomorrow, I want to say, maybe. And that one will be in our next campaign somewhere. Maybe just a bad guy, some random person. Could be a leader of a gang, cult, whatever we end up rolling. That's always fun. So if you want to be involved in that and help name the person, kind of talk about it with me, that'd be fun. So we can do that as well. If you have made it this far, say so. I mean, maybe not. You don't have to do it in the chat. You can always say it later in the comments, because I wish they would do this. And
You could just say so out loud in your room to yourself. I'm on.
yeah, just like I'm on.
We'll get the good vibes.
We do. We get 'em- we get those vibes. But like, just
Baxter will expel them as farts.
gosh, he's like super rank when he lets those just go out. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you can. I wish that YouTube in their lives would transfer the comments in the live to the comments
Right.
afterwards, because sometimes I don't catch
To the comment section.
I don't catch them. I don't catch them all, and then I'm like, what did people say? And they like say like we were naming an NPC. A bunch of them had really cool names, and I didn't get any of them. And I was like, yeah. So please, if you see a live and you comment during the live and I don't respond to you, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It is literally because I didn't see it in time, and I want to make sure we get it. All right. What are we doing? Oh yeah, they're firing their crossbows. Miss and hit. This was a solid 3. So one of your guys next to you, holding a spear, just takes an arrow right to his side. A bolt. It didn't do tons of damage, but you can see it's stuck in there. And
I told those ding-dongs to hide.
Yeah, well, he wasn't hidden enough. There's only so much room for 6 guys, plus you guys, plus Odeon and everybody else. All right, let's get back to your turn. You are getting closer, so chances of hitting is higher. But
How far are we thinking?
probably around 100 feet, you'll hit each other.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you do know that these are made for ramming.
Ooh.
So they're going. We're gonna see who wins the ram, and then
Can we turn our boat?
You could, but then they get full ram on your broadside.
So
I mean,
we're
like,
going
what if
towards each other right now?
You're going towards each other at the moment.
I mean, are we going like
Well,
this?
let's say you guys were kind of going like this, circling each other, but you kind of have done this turning move, and you're kind of headed towards each other.
Oh, okay. I was thinking we could
Because if you just kept
Bam!
circling, you could shoot at each other for a long time, and it could be good. But
They have
people
more
are
bowmen.
the people don't like to watch just this like.
Yeah,
They want to see intense, bloody battle, and yeah, I'll tell you more as we go.
Okay.
I want to tell them to both go for the mage.
Okay.
The boats won't last that long, so
well,
I'm
here's
not
the
concerned about
thing.
preserving.
So one of the ballistas is gone, so you can tell Badger
yeah.
and
Oh right,
because he was just shooting blindly in their
right.
direction. So the ballista and him will try to get that guy. Okay, so the ballista does see him again.
Oh my gosh, that is three threes,
in a row.
Yeah.
And he just fires over there. It tears through like the side where people were hiding and just like knocks a couple over, but it doesn't do the desired effect. Maybe some like injury between them. One guy gets like a splinter. I'm not like ow, but I mean like a splinter of the boat like hits him in the arm or something. Nothing crazy, but he gets an 18. And then a 7 plus 3.
10.
No. Oh, mage. Right. He's not wearing armor. That is a hit.
Oh,
Barely.
Thank you.
Badger, you see him he sees him very well. He rolled a 17 on his perception. He pulls back, and it's still like an uneasy. Just the boat is moving, so
Nice,
it's this
rocking.
weak hit, but it hits, and it is solid, and it is painful, and it is a 9 plus 3. So it hits him, and you see the arrow just peg into this guy, and the cloak just goes, just like, you see like the guy fall back. You don't know what happened to him, but it was a solid hit.
Oh man.
Alright.
I go, yeah, Badger.
And he just yells something, and
Let's join him.
everyone on your ship, everyone's like, Vulgar!
You bastards.
The crowd erupts with kind of a cheer as like you guys are all just like taunting and getting like really riled up. They see their general doing damage, like their general ship, and he died. And it was like they have a tomb in the center of town for this general. So it's like you're kind of like people are really liking it.
Jiving them up.
Because it's a tragedy, and they try to live true to history, as you're starting to see. They want to let their heroes die and make it this huge spectacle, but then they have some where you guys win, but you guys haven't been on a winning side. You've always been on the guys that are gonna die because of maybe certain people pulling strings. All right, do what you do.
Oh, I didn't even do anything yet.
No, you didn't. There are things that you can do. I've lost my
I'm thinking
D20.
what I can do.
Again?
Yeah. Find it.
Again?
Let's see. I'm gonna roll perception
Thank you.
to see if there's another like if there's a weak point or if there's something that I
Yeah,
like. I'm
please
like,
do. Please do. You next move, next turn
5
out of
plus
turns
3.
that you guys are impacting.
I got a freaking 8.
All right, you don't see any weak points at this moment, but you do know that at the rate you're going, it's getting kind of faster. Like the tides are kind of pushing from behind, so you guys get a good. They're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
So you've noticed that it's swelling behind you, and you're both going slightly faster towards each other.
I'm gonna yell that. I'm gonna say,
Brace for
the
impact.
brace for impact.
All right, so it's their turn to make some shots.
To take some shots.
So they see, they hit
Oh, piss.
Ballista. Oh, good. So one of the soldiers takes a 1 damage, but it does the same thing and knocks him flat. I should say it nicks him because the other guy hit him full force, and he had plate.
Yeah.
This guy, he has leather. It wouldn't block it.
Oh,
It just like
dead.
it basically just rips his armor off, and like he causes a huge gash right here, but nothing deadly. And you see him get up and just like, okay, that could have been bad. All right, that's a miss, and that one's a hit. So one of the ballistas, not ballistas. Luckily that one missed, but the crossbowman hits. So the same guy that took one of the bolts before he gets hit again by the same guy. That guy's a sharpshooter.
He's like,
he's hitting the same guy. He's not
like,
doing too well.
Ballista.
Yeah,
One after the other.
he's just like, stop it. He's not doing great. But anyway, at this moment, you are bracing for impact. Roll an athletics check.
I'm gonna do a backflip.
Athletics.
Oh my gosh. 5 plus
Ooh, yeah.
4, 9.
6.
Okay, you are both knocked prone. All right, so everyone but you guys is up.
Up.
We're not used to this.
Yeah. And then their team. Okay, 4 out of the 8 are up. All right, so at that moment, you guys hit. You hear this crunching and shattering of wood, just this huge cacophonous sound of just like the storm and they make the lightning strike right when you guys hit it, and the thunder
That's
goes
cool.
just to add the extra effect, and people just, you can hear them through the storm barely, and it reminds you that they are still there, and it just hits and just causes this immense pressure, and you guys just boom, we're not expecting that kind of hit.
Whoa.
And you guys land and you kind of slide a little bit, because remember, you kind of were going at an angle. You slide towards the front of the ship a little bit, and at that moment you see people starting to come over the sides, and your people meeting them.
Okay.
And roll initiative.
Oh yeah, girl.
It begins.
Oh, 6 plus 3, 9.
Oh, stop.
Ooh, stop.
Okay, so I'm going to lump the quite a few of the men together as one strike equals the same amount of the group. So just to save us on 8 rolls plus 6 rolls plus your rolls, you know. I mean, let's just say one side starts moving better than the other. Is that fair? Do you guys agree to that?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Okay,
I
so
don't want to stick
your
that.
team of 6, besides you, rolls 14. Those are all hits. Their team rolls 7. So your team has the advantage on this one.
Yes.
Each of them take a 10 max damage. So your team immediately jumps, strikes, just like hoplite style, just like everyone just did a good hit on all of their men, and one of them dies. So you see a good hit. So there is now 7 of their men left.
Good job, guys.
It is now.
Oh, boy.
It is now Odion's or yours. Who got the initiative rolls? Let me get these out. Who was first? What did you roll?
I rolled the 9.
I had 4.
Okay, you rolled a 9.
So
You
So the
rolled a
martial
4.
arts, does that mean like I'm good with weapons as well? Like certain weapons?
It's short swords, but basically, I have it written down on a player handbook.
Yeah, what's it say?
I didn't.
Well, martial arts it just says see player's handbook or web.
Yeah, it was a big list, and I didn't have space for it. So let me get that out for you.
Martial arts.
I feel like a
Oh,
monk
it's
would...
under here.
Like martial weapons.
Oh. Yeah, I'm thinking like
Martial
bow
weapons.
staff, that kind of stuff. Yada
No,
yada.
no, they have a specific section that talks about.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. There's a specific.
It's a
qualification.
lot, so I didn't write it all down.
Stand by.
It's probably under
Here
the
we go.
web. Oh.
All right. So
Okay, let's see.
martial arts. This is. You see why I didn't write any of that down? So you can start going through that. Since you're not
Okay.
first anyway, it doesn't quite matter. Warren, you got 4.
Yeah.
And Badru, yes, got 19. He's turning out to be quite the useful ally. It's good that you didn't kill him. And Odeon gets 3. Okay. So it goes Badru first. So he takes out his huge mace. It's just basically a long metal pole with a big ball at the end of it. Like, it's nothing fancy. It just does the job. You can see... Oh,
Nice.
natural 20, everybody.
Oh,
He runs up with his D12 and does 11 damage,
22.
crit, 22 damage, and just caves a guy's like metal plate helmet in. You don't see it, you hear it.
Oh, dang.
It was just you guys were in the process of getting up. You saw Badger just rush past you, dropping his bow and just cleaving down, just boom, just this solid hit. The guy drops, and you hear your people go, ah la la la! That's how they do it. It's not huzzah. This is actually culturally how they would yell.
That's cool.
Anyway, I have been reading Egypt books like crazy, because I feel like this is the closest, and Mayan. I've been reading a lot of Mayan Aztec of Tenochtitlan. Anyway, go on, and it is now Cry's turn.
My turn.
Everyone got really low, but Badger got 19. And then he
All right,
rolled a
who's-
20. Gosh.
Who's closest to me? What can I? Is someone pretty close?
You have to use your turn to get up.
No, you
Oh.
guys did that when you were rolling initiative. It's like you
Oh,
you weren't quite into the battle quite yet.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because they attacked all of them.
You guys were in the back. You were still in the back, like commanding orders.
We
guys
were in the
front.
back in Poland.
Back.
If you've seen that movie,
We had no parts in the war.
Is there like a big dude? It's like that guy's gonna mess us up.
you don't see the guy that was in the cloak, but he was pretty big. You just don't see him right now. The other guys are all standard soldier type. They're all dressed in not plate, but in a really thick armor. They're all like uniform. They actually have like a sigil on there.
I can't really use my. Oh, you know what? I can. I'm gonna use. I'm gonna
creative.
launch myself. I'm gonna stab the spear into the ground, and bend it, and then launch myself like. So.
Like a pole vault.
Awesome.
Yep, my feet just.
It is a
straight
big pole.
into
You
a
might be
person.
able to do it. Propel yourself a little bit. I might give you extra damage depending on how you do
I'll
this.
use step of wind with
You're first going to have to roll an acrobatics.
it. Okay.
Anytime you're doing anything fancy like that.
13 plus 6.
Yeah, that's a success. You successfully dig that thing into the ground and pole vault yourself forward. Oh, okay. Well, the good news is that you you did a very good job on your projecting yourself at them. You didn't hit them with what you wanted. You did hit them with your body. Just like
Not with your foot.
So it does some damage to them, but it's mostly
Knocks 'em.
and you take a d4 minus in half. So roll your triangle.
4. So
Okay.
2.
So you can take 2 damage, and the other guy takes 4 damage. So the guy you launch yourself into gets knocked back and hits his head as he's falling, and it kind of dazed him a bit, but he's prone. You're prone.
Oh, dang it.
You're basically on top of another guy. There are people all around you, so this is going to be messy.
Get up.
All right. There are 6 of them left. There are 6 of you left. But now they're all going to... No.
It's my turn.
Your turn. Then it's their stuff.
I am going to reload the ballista and shoot it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you use your full speed to get back there, 30 feet. You actually make it to it.
Okay.
It's going to take a
A turn to load.
turn to load it.
Okay.
just because it's so big. But it is a solid, if you can get a hit on that, this close range.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much a death kill. All right, so you just see him run back and just start cranking. You're like, yeah, okay.
Where's Badger and what's he doing?
He just killed a man with a mace.
His mace.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
he rolled a.
That was
he
him
rolled a
that caved
crit.
it in?
Yeah, that was a crit.
heck
He went up and
yeah.
just took him out. And Odeon, this is the first time you've seen him really much in the battle. He picked 2 knives. And so he goes running up to one and he hits a solid hit, just barely on the weakest one. Gets 5 damage on the guy, just like sticks his knives into either side and just kind of like is like holding him, kind of grappling him, but getting close range enough because this guy's got a big weapon. He's going to have a harder time hitting him. All right, it is now their men's turn. Good. And ours. Okay, not good. So they both rolled a 10 and a 9, so respectively. So the bad guys went first. They all rolled 10. You guys don't have 10 armor. So they rolled... actually, their strength is +2.
I got a 13.
Still doesn't hit you guys. Because you have temporary armor of
14.
and you have 13. Everyone else is 12 and up.
Oh, okay.
Baxter's like, pay
Hold
attention
on.
to me. All right.
Ooh.
Okay. Badger comes in with another whopping hit of
Nice.
17 plus 3.
I thought that was them attacking us.
Oh no! It's the 2 groups and then you guys initiative again. All right. He rolls a 4, which is +2 proficiency. So he comes in and just brings it across another guy, hits him in the chest, and you just hear this cracking. The guy falls backwards, not dead, but just. I mean, these guys are all battling it out, falling all over each other. The rain is just, it's intense. At this moment, you hear another crack, and it starts coming apart. You see that swelling in the center where you guys are at, and your ships are now coming apart again. So some of the men are jumping back on the boat, on their ship, and some of them are stuck with you guys, vice versa. So it's mixed again. You're also back farther away. It's pushing you back towards again, and they're gonna come back in again. It's gonna get crazy. These ships don't have much left in them. All right, so there are 3 men that are on your boat.
So are we just all gonna drown?
Could be, yeah.
my
I've seen that happen
gosh.
before. All right, so the ships,
Just like
they're pushing back, but there are 3 of their guys and 3 of your guys over here, and then there are 3 of our guys over there, and like 4 over there, including the mage. What you assume is the mage, what you're calling the mage.
Yeah.
You don't know really, but guy
Right.
in robes.
He could be just a big dude.
All right, so there are 3 men on board with you. You're now being pushed back towards the outer edge. It is now your turn.
How far away are we
From what? The ship or
from
these
their
guys?
ship?
It's pushing back, so it's pretty far away. It's probably like 40 feet now.
Darn it.
It's also on water, unless you can run on water, which monks can. Not this level yet.
That's cool. I didn't know.
Monks can do
Some step of the wind plus you're unarmored, so
Yeah.
stepping on. I mean, if people are in the water, you just jump on their heads as you run.
But doesn't step of the wind let you like double your distance? You can like jump double your
Yeah,
distance.
but we're talking about. Oh, yeah, you can jump double your
Yeah,
distance.
you can
but
jump. You can jump like 60 feet with step of the wind.
Can
Holy
you jump 60 feet?
crap.
I could be wrong, but I,
Well,
I
think
think
about
that's
your
what it is.
think about
You're
your
like-
actual jump distance. You can probably make like 7-8 feet,
Yeah.
so like 16
I
feet.
think you probably do like 10 or 12. but
Okay,
Yeah.
on a good run jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to
That'd
be
be
like
cool.
really booking it. Yeah,
That would be
you can
so
do some cool
cool.
stuff. All right, so
Oh,
anyway,
man. Okay, so
what is time? Okay,
there
we're
are
good.
3 people on our boat?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to fight.
All right, so you run up and you try to get one. So roll attack.
But closest one, I'm still using my spear kind of thing. I don't want to use up on my key yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my spear. But I want to jump at him. Just to
Okay.
get more force.
Okay. Roll acrobatics first.
Okay. 16 plus 6. Thank you.
You are good at the jumping.
5 plus 5 plus what would that be? Like, what would I add it
Plus
with?
3, your proficiency.
Oh, it'd be my
Or
proficiency.
I guess your dexterity or whatever.
Oh, if it's my dexterity, that's 5 plus 6, so 11.
Oh, just not enough. As you come in with that attack, he sees you coming at him. Probably the same guy. Like
Oh.
you backed up again and did the same thing, and he sees you coming this
He's
time,
like,
but this time he deflects it, and he's going to be coming in for a counter when it's his turn. It is now
My turn.
your turn.
I'm gonna shoot an armored dude.
Yeah, you are. Let's hope it pays off.
Yeah, doesn't hit. Cry.
You roll 1 and just skewer him.
Kill me.
I'd guess, would I add anything to that?
Dexterity, it's ranged.
6.
Okay. Nope. So you fire that thing off, and the guys jump out of the way as this huge ballista bolt just lands, embeds itself, and just kind of splinters the wood all around it. At that moment, one of the guys starts charging at you.
Okay.
But it's now Odion's turn. So he sees the guy running at you. He takes his knives out of the other guy that he had just stuck really well with him and goes after him. 7, 8, 10 doesn't hit him, but he just swings at him and just misses him. And then now it is their turn. And so the guy that charges at you takes a swing at you, misses. So you just kind of like hide behind the ballista real quick, and he just like sticks it in the ballista for a second.
Shit. That's my ballista.
And the other guy that he just deflected you, he does hit you.
13.
Well, 13 plus 3.
Oh.
So he knocks the spear out of the way and comes down and hits you. Don't worry, it's nothing insane. So it's 3 plus 2. So he does 5 damage to you. Mark that.
All right.
So he brings it down on kind of your shoulder a little bit. You kind of deflect it a little bit, but it's still it comes in just a little bit. It doesn't break your clavicle, doesn't get too far, but it definitely got some muscle there. All right, and then the last guy is going for Badger, since he is just taking people out left and right. Like, he is not missed, and he is. It's the guy that he crushed the chest of. He's not dead. He had to catch his breath for a second. He comes at him, and he does hit him, doing a 6, 7. So he does 7 damage to Badger.
Oof.
So he kind of like stabs the side, but the leather kind of catches it a bit, but it goes through. Like, it's a good hit. All right. It is now the mage's turn.
Oh, so he is a mage.
He is not a mage.
Oh.
He's something else. Just at that moment, you see an arrow curving around the side of the arena, and
What the? Oh, he's a...
it just misses you. You see this, like, all of a sudden you kind of hear this like whistling sound, and you kind of like, you look up and this arrow is just coming around the side, and you just miss it, and it just like, it almost hits you, and you kind of see where it's coming from. The guy has this like huge longbow, and he like is imbuing this like arrow with
What is
magic.
that called? What's that character called? It's in that book.
It is. It's a new character. It's very interesting. Anyway, let's get going.
It was
Keep
cool,
going.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. He is a very interesting. I think it's called something.
He's called something.
Something arrow something. I am going to... Oh, I guess it's not my turn.
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay, so I'm gonna use some martial arts now. It's time to...
It's time to march.
I'm gonna use some fury of blows. I'm gonna find his weak points, where the armor isn't kind of covering. I'm guessing his neck.
All right.
So I want to do a flurry of blows upon his neck.
Some neck blows are probably ideal.
I want to crush that windpipe. Put my thumbs through his eyes. Okay, a 9 plus...
Oh, it's just Arcane Archer. It's a fighter class.
Oh.
One of my favorites. It's intense.
That's cool.
That's called Seeking Arrow is what he used.
Let's
He
see, it's
basically picked his target. After he shoots, he can decide what he wants to do with it and put magic into it.
I would use that as my 9 plus...
Pretty awesome.
Proficiency, right?
So it'd be 9 plus
that right?
3? What, maybe proficiency bonus?
Mm-hmm.
So 9 plus 3, it's not 12.
That's a hit.
On the mage, he's not armored.
Oh, am I on the other boat?
No, everyone that's
Oh,
right next
oh.
to you is 12
Oh,
armor.
perfect. So I'm going to
The
hit
one
him in
that's
the
next to
throat.
him is not 12 armor.
Hit him in the throat. I'm going to hit him in the throat again.
You just
Grab
rolled
that.
an 18. All right, so
I'd keep that.
So you're going to
keep that.
strike him in the throat.
Because he's...
The first one was a hit,
This-
the second one's a hit. So roll your damage.
So this is the mage that I'm fighting.
No.
Oh,
No,
this is
you're
just
fighting.
Sorry, that's my
You're
bad.
you're
Oh.
fighting the guy that just
Oh, I'm out of
sliced
this
you
one.
right here.
Right. So I'm guessing he's full plated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to...
Well, he's not like plate, but it's very thick armor.
I want to just...
It's not covering every inch of him, which is great for this.
That was a... So it'd be 2d8s.
Not as covered as the guy you're fighting.
8.
Nice.
7. Cool.
Pretty darn good. All right, so your 2 blows actually crush his windpipe, and he actually dies. You see him just struggle, and just like the rest of the time, he's going to be dying over there.
Cool.
He's done. You know what kind of death blow looks like, and that one was one.
I'm gonna use... I'd like... After my attacks, I like to use Step of Wind. Just like... Just get out of there.
All right, so you move away full distance you can from everybody. Okay. Now, it's your turn. Big guy embedded thing. He's really heavy armored.
I've got a spear, and I know how to use it.
All right. Roll for attack. Let's get this going because we.
Yes.
Getting
It is
late.
11:52. It is much later than I planned.
And
I need to go home soon.
yes, as a bonus, when I attack, I'm going to use my necrotic shroud.
Nice. Basically, he has to roll to.
As well as my planar warrior.
He did not pass the check for this fear.
Nice.
So he's now
So
frightened
he
of
is
you,
feared.
which means he's going to roll disadvantage against you.
I rolled a 22.
That's a hit.
Oh, my.
So he takes bonus damage equal to my level necrotic, right?
Uh huh.
And he also is going to take some force
D8.
damage
Yeah, a D8
Okay.
on top of
Alright.
your normal damage.
on top of my normal damage, which is
What are you using?
spear.
It's a D6.
D6. Alright. It's 5 and 4. It's 9.
So how do you want to kill him?
Jab it up in his throat.
All right, so he embeds his thing. He's trying to get it out. Arrow almost hits you. You immediately just take that advantage of him like looking over too, and you just stick it up. Remember, most of these guys are already wounded because
Yeah.
they've been fighting. All right, and then your team over there. Let's see how they're doing. And their team over there. Okay, they killed them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it was. They were all wounded. Your guys are all wounded. They went out on that one, so your guys died. But the good news is there's only like 3 left over there, and you guys are over here with one guy.
We still got the arcane dude shooting crazy arrows.
Well, the good news is it's now your turn. Badger takes up his.
Yeah, I was like, better.
No, it's first miss.
Dang it.
Well, I guess first miss in a while.
Badger,
He did miss
let
near
us
the beginning.
down.
So he misses.
Guess we'll have to kill him.
Sure, dude.
No mercy.
Remember the time
All
you
right.
rolled your belly?
So you. So it's their turn again, and this one's not a seeking arrow, but he's still a really good shot. Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
17, and he hits you. So you take 5 damage total. So this next arrow just comes arcing over. You are just stabbing him, and the second one just like comes right in, and it hits you right down in the hip, just like pegs you
How
right
much
in the
did he
hip.
hit me for again? Sorry, 5.
So 5 damage.
Man, that would suck.
All right, and now your boats are coming together. So roll athletics again. Roll an athletics saving
Oh, whoops.
throw. You're good.
14.
Man. Athletics, so 10.
All right, you are both okay. So Badru, he falls down, and Odeon will not fall down for the rest of the time when it comes to anything because he just rolled a 20. He's like, I've got my sea legs.
Oh my god.
I'm one with this
I've
boat.
officially earned it.
He's gonna get a bonus on his initiative, and now he's moving to the top. And since with that 20, he's going in. Like you see
Cool.
him run up the side as it hits. He's just like this. It's like lightning crashes, and you just see the silhouette of him jumping over the side, and you see him go on the other side, and he makes an attack with an 18, and then I don't know why I rolled that second time. 2 18s in a row, either way. And then he brings it down on one of the guards and kills him. That was enough because it was 5 + 3. And you just see this epic moment. That was a really awesome moment. Like, it explodes, he runs, just jumps, and just stabs a guy and rolls off of him, ready for the next attack. You've never seen him so excited to fight. You don't know what his past is, but it's starting to become clear that he wasn't just a blacksmith.
He likes to fight.
Yeah.
All right. It is now. We're starting top of the round. Badru. So he uses his turn to get up.
Okay.
All right. And now it is your turn.
So I got pumped seeing him use his necrotic jazz.
Well, he's still currently in this state.
Oh yeah, it lasts, huh?
Yeah.
It lasts a minute, but
So I
it's
see
been
that,
10
and I'm
seconds.
like, you know what? BAM! And I use my radiant soul.
So you as like this angelic and him as this like demonic, but also like you're both good. So you combined, it's almost like this like powerhouse move, and like everyone on that side is a little bit like, what is happening over there? This is not what we signed up for.
I want to.
Couple of freaky deaky angels and some lightning.
Right? Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
I kind of want to. Since we're putting on a show, I want to like rise in the air. And,
You can fly
Yeah.
right now. You can actually fly for the remainder of this battle, probably, if you
Cool.
chose to.
I want to.
But there is an archer over there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
target.
if you get hit and fall in the water, I can't save you.
Is that my attack? Or is
No,
that
no,
just
no.
like
That's
an
just like a
action?
bonus action.
Okay.
So-
then I want to use radiant sunbolt on the archer.
So you raise up and you just launch a bolt.
Dark Souls style.
Yeah. But it's like a lightning bolt. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
The-
like
the
it's god.
sunlight
It's like
bolts?
it's like a god-esque moment.
Oh.
And actually, when
16.
you gained inspiration, by the way. That was a really
Oh,
cool,
cool.
moment. Like,
Because I see like the darkness and the thing. I want to be like the
you don't
light
have to use it right
rising.
now, but all right, good.
just-
All right, so use your damage on him.
Oh.
It's nothing terribly fancy, but it's a good one.
Chalice, it's a 1d4.
Yeah.
Which one's the? Oh,
The little triangle.
Plus Dex. Oh wow.
So 3,
Oh.
4.
So 1 plus my dexterity.
So 4.
5.
So you hit him and it sends him like spinning, like he didn't expect that. Like this lightning bolt with like, but not lightning bolt, just like this white, searing
light,
energy
yeah.
that just like strikes him, spins him around, and you see his robe just like catch flame, and he like rips it off of himself, and you see for the first time it's actually a drow,
Oh.
and that's not normal. That's
Can I use
This
my?
is Mage Man.
this
Can I use my
he's not a
disengage?
mage, but yeah, that's the guy. Yeah,
Does the
That should
disengage
put-
work
that
with
should
this?
Put him at a disadvantage.
it hurt him double.
Throwing searing light in his face.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
actually.
Would we know that?
You wouldn't know that,
We
but
wouldn't
you
know
see him like wiping his eyes. It like it's like a flashbang. Like it hit him, and it was just like this. Like what the heck was that? That's not good. He's now focusing on you.
I bet he is. Good thing
All
I can
right.
fly.
It is now. No, he went, so it's yours.
Oh yeah. I'm just moving on to the closest target.
Okay. You can't quite make it the full 30 feet, but you do see his bow with his quiver laying on the ground right next to you.
Can I
So
use his
you
bow?
can totally like
Okay.
you can do that. I'm just telling you that because it's
Okay.
it's something you would see because
Yeah,
you are a
right.
ranger. You're like,
Right.
I'm using this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna allow you to equip it. Most people say that's a turn. I say, what hell with that? You're doing it.
Right.
So, all right, you can totally make an attack.
Yeah,
roll
absolutely.
if you choose to. I'm not like dictating what you should do, but
did I see the drow?
you did. You see, you're pretty much.
We're like
with
crashed right
twins.
now.
You guys are like together when it comes to like.
Do
thoughts
we
of
know what a
often.
drow is?
Roll history?
13.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Even with that history, you know what a drow is because you've studied different elf culture. You've read
Okay.
lots and lots of books in your time as a war priest, like acolyte type thing. You spent time in their libraries, and you know that there are different types, but the dark elves aren't up in the light.
Right.
There are a few that can, but it's really like they actually have to be like blessed by their god to be able to come up here. This one particularly doesn't look like he's blessed by that god, but the cover from the arena seems to be an advantage to him. Like it's dark enough, but that light definitely wasn't something that he enjoyed.
Yeah.
You saw that happen, so you know that he's has a problem with light attacks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him with the bow.
Awesome.
The ball.
The ball. So yeah, would I be proficient in a longbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a ranger.
Yeah. Okay. 14 then. Is that a hit?
Yeah, that's a hit. It's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not
D12.
wearing any
Right.
armor.
And
This is a big bow.
I'm gonna focus in that planar energy on it too.
You can do that. Yep. So you picked him as your target for
Oh
your planar.
boys, what damage does the bow do?
The night has come and insanity is reached. It's a D12.
12.
I was like, dang it.
That's the extra force damage.
Oh.
See, that's a 10. That's 12. Okay. Oh!
Butts!
It's okay. You can keep using that.
3 damage.
What I love about that.
Yeah.
It didn't say any number like of times
No
you can use it.
limitations on it.
That's
Just like
cool.
he can keep doing his sun blasts,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
So you hit him with this arrow. It's like revenge arrow. Like
Right.
it's basically saying, "I'm on you. You're on my brother. I'm on you."
Would have been better if
Oh,
I took his
damn.
arrow and shot
So
it back
what
there.
happens is like the arrow strikes him, and I told you these things are like
Big,
thick arrows. They're like, and it took you a lot of strength to pull that thing back. You're like, okay, Badger really had a hard time. I'm having a hard time. You get it back. It wasn't the full, but I think on the next one you feel like you can get a better.
Back to here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
God.
good twang,
Takes your
but it's
nip
not.
off.
It wasn't Badger style. Anyway, it hits him, but it's like in the thigh, and it just tears into his thigh. Like it took part off. It was bad. He's actually kind of got a limp at the moment. He's blinded, and he just got kind of semi-crippled.
I'm hoping he's seeing me.
Yeah, you don't see this, but you know. All right, it is now Odion's turn, technical term, and he runs up and he misses the next guy because he just barely murdered one of his friends, pulled it out, swung at the other one. The guy saw it coming, but it's now there are 2 left over there and him, and you guys have him outnumbered now.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah, girl.
Oh, yeah.
plus
girl.
3. That's a hit. So Badger, of course, to the rescue. No, it's their turn. Sorry, I apologize. This is their turn. He comes up with a bastard sword and hits Badger for 7, 8, 9, 10 points.
Ooh.
He's not doing great. He's taking 17 damage. All right, so and the second guy sees him attacking Badger, and he's trying to take him down because he is a force to be reckoned with, and just misses him. So he gets stabbed right here, and you see it's a deep wound. And you're kind of worried about Badger at this moment. As the other guy comes up, he just grabs him by the throat and pushes him back. He's just like, no.
Nope.
All right, it is now the Drow's turn. At disadvantage, he's shooting at you. You see him channeling something.
A 4 and a 19. Oh, glob.
What does it mean?
Okay, he hits you. You take 2d6 psychic damage and must succeed a wisdom saving throw or
Oh,
being able to
man.
see anything farther than 5 feet away for the start of your next turn. So he hits you. So
Oh, man.
2d6, 6 and 4 with his proficiency. That's 13. So you take 13 damage and you have to make a wisdom saving throw, which you're saving. That was right there.
Oh, my gosh. I'm gonna die.
He hits you hard with that.
to beat?
So, wait, what's 13 minus 20? I have 7 health. Holy crap. I
This is getting
can
close.
die. 6 plus 3, 9.
You don't beat it. So immediately
I'm
this cloud just comes over you, and I'm gonna say with that strong of a hit, it knocks you out of the sky back onto the boat. You don't take falling damage because your wings just barely keep you up enough, and your wings dissipate.
Okay.
So it kind of knocked your
Like,
radius up because it was like a necrotic like shroud hit.
gee whiz.
Yeah, that's the last of his arrows though that can do special
Oh.
things. You can tell because he suddenly you see him over there weakened, but it is your turn.
Oh, crap.
But you can only see 5 feet in front of you. You can keep moving forward, but that's all you can see in front of you.
I want to quickly heal myself.
Okay, so you can heal yourself for 3 points of.
3 points?
So you just like kind of catch where the arrow hit, and you just kind of rip it out and cover the bleeding.
I want to, after that, I'm going to
You can move.
step of wind
Yeah,
towards him.
Okay, so you move back towards him. Badru doesn't look good, but he pulls like Lord of the Rings style, the rest of it in, like grabs the guy's arm and tries to just grab with the mace and just bring it down on his head. Okay, that's enough. He hits him, and
Oh man.
oh, he doesn't kill him, but he like knocks him like really hard. He's like hanging on. Odeon is not next. It is you.
That's me. Who's next?
Oh no. I'm sorry. Your turn.
Me.
Badger is taking a reaction.
I'm gonna fire again at Draushmel.
Schmo.
Oh, that's a 10.
Plus.
It's 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He is wearing light leather armor, so it is a miss.
Oh, okay.
So he sees the next one coming. He's no longer blinded. He sees the next one coming, and he just sees you just launch this arrow at him. He dodges it by like that much, and it is now Odeon's turn. So Odeon sees his new friend, getting majorly injured, and he runs over and tries to shank him, and he does very well at it. Odeon is a beast.
Yeah, he's whooping butt right now, dude.
And he kills him. So he runs up behind him and just stabs in the back of the neck, and it just goes out the front. And Badger gets blood all over him, and he just laughs and just like he grabs him and then just throws him off of him. And then he takes the sword out, and then they both face the last guy, who is now going to surrender. The drow drops and it says, "Please no," in Elvish. You can't understand it, but you've learned enough of different slaves to kind of capture different things. And everyone says, "Kill, kill."
They told us.
Oh,
we
we
didn't have a
can't do
choice
that
on
again,
this,
huh?
All right, so how do you want to do
I was
it?
about to say, dude, let's build our team.
Right.
You can do what you want.
Oh man, I know, but if
There
we
are
do that,
consequences, but
we will
doesn't mean
will they
worse
kill
thing.
us though?
you don't know. You do know that the people are shouting, and it's swelling and getting more and more intense.
Oh crap. Oh crap, dude. I mean, dang, we could have another person on our team. We could, and even though the guy did say no mercy, but it does show that we are like,
I don't think we
boom.
could. I don't think we could realistically keep a drow.
Are they bad?
Yeah, they're like known as
Evil.
super evil, and they
You know
can't,
that.
they
Yeah.
can't live in sunlight.
Okay, let's kill him.
They just
They
flat
take
out
a
can't.
disadvantage on
Let's
all
kill 'em.
attacks in sunlight,
Yeah,
unfortunately. But if you're underground, they're perfect to have around.
yeah.
They can see like infrared.
Right.
We should have what's his name? Gosh, Badru. We should have him like bludgeon that leg that's already messed up, and then just pick him up by the throat and throw him to let him drown.
Okay,
Brutal.
so that's what happens is you go over to Badger and just say,
Finish it.
finish him. So Badger goes up and just kind of laughs while he's just like coughing up blood a little bit. He's gonna need some help, or he'll die.
So done with
So he
healing?
walks up and he just
I
like,
haven't used mine yet.
and people are going Badger, 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 and he just goes up and just smashes the leg, and just like you see the collapse of like the knee, just like he pops the knee completely, and you see the drow scream, and he picks him up, and before he actually finishes, he just and just throws him in. he did finish him quickly.
He did his own thing.
He's a fellow fighter, and he wanted to end it quickly. And for that, we'll find out what happens next time. And thank you so much for watching. We've had a joyous time. It is so much later than we planned. It won't go this late too often. So if you're watching this in the replay, it's probably better.
We were just having so much fun.
We were just having fun murdering things. So thank you so much again. There are no additional comments. So I'm going to hop over there and turn this off. And I'm going to go home and sleep because I have work at 5 in the morning.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Guys, I had a great time. If you want to see this again soon, please let me know. You can personal message me, or you can say it below in the comments. But thank you again so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to see a lot more of that.
Man, that was cool. That was so fun.
See ya.